perspective because they have to deal with harassment on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I wish I was harassed as much as women got harassed.
You wish you were harassed as much as
Yeah, from women, I wouldn't,
harassed.
dude. I would have no issues with it.
That's
Personally.
fucked up. That is a real fucked up thing to say.
I feel no. Personally, I don't feel. I've been molested by women,
Yeah.
and
Let's turn into a therapy session here.
but it's not that type. It's different. When I mean molested, I'm not talking about as a kid,
Yeah.
not knowing what the fuck's going on.
You know, like somebody
Yeah,
broke
yeah.
you.
Some girl grabbing my dick, slapping my ass, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like,
So you're
that's
saying
cool.
if you were a female, you would appreciate having
no.
that
If
happen
I
to you?
no, if as a man,
Oh, as a man,
if-
you would like that to happen to you as much as it
yeah,
happened with
yeah. Not if I was a woman, no, because
Okay.
men are pigs when it comes to that shit.
It's kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Women ain't pigs like that.
So you
but they
wish
are.
that women were a little bit more like men.
No, not like men. Be themselves
Yeah.
towards men.
All right, hold on. Let's hold this conversation and really get it popping.
Yeah.
I know people are gonna take
Alright.
that out of context.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Clap, clap.
Yeah.
Hey,
we're live.
Toronto Talks
One,
motherfucking
two.
podcast. So we're just on an interesting topic right now. And the homie Mike Stone here.
Oh boy, this guy's put me on the spot.
Yo, we're gonna start with the smoke, eh? Let's get right into
No,
the shit.
I know people are gonna take this out of context. I really don't care.
But
But
Mike, yeah.
okay, what did I
I'll let
just
you
say?
it.
So I said
there was context.
there's
to it,
context
a
to everything,
there
but
was
I'm
a
gonna say
long 20-minute
yeah.
conversation.
So I'm not
that just
even.
made
Yeah,
sense.
so I'm gonna say the statement as I'm gonna say it. I wish, or not that I wish, but I wouldn't personally mind. I know people gonna take this the wrong way. If women harassed me or other men, like how men actually do it to women. Now you gotta really
So you want to be catcalled?
catcall. I don't have no issue. I don't catcall girls, but I'm saying like I wouldn't mind if girls catcall me. And they've done it, but I'm not. You know what I mean? But
You ain't mad at it.
no, but put it like this: if we were harassed as much as men harass women,
Right.
we'd probably get fed up with it too. Remember, it doesn't happen often, so it's
Right,
like,
right,
we're like,
right.
okay, what's the big deal? We're in our mind, what's the big deal if we do it to them?
Right.
But they deal with it all the time.
Well, I think there's a fine line between complimenting and harassing a
Yeah.
person. You know what I mean? And you got to know where that fine line is.
Yeah.
Like you could tell a woman, you know, she's straight up gorgeous or beautiful or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you can do it in a classy way where she's gonna understand that you're actually complimenting her, or you could do it in a way where you're just straight up being downright a dog with it.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
there's
all
that
assault
fine
now,
line.
though? Is it all assault now, though?
It's not
I've seen,
assault,
like,
that's harassment.
I've
That's
seen
not
people-
assault. That's
No,
harassment.
but I mean, like, even if you do, like you're saying, do it in the right way, like with a
Right.
good compliment, like a pickup line.
Yeah,
Like,
man,
I don't know, is the pickup line dead? Because, like, what if you go, like, say a smooth line to a girl, and then she's like, you know what I mean? Like, the way that things are now, it's like,
Man, no, the pickup line ain't that. Again, like I said, there's a fine line.
but when does the
between-
pickup line become the cat call?
You gotta know where that fine line is. You gotta be able to read the situation, and it's always
That's the
been
hard
that
part
way.
about all this, is because
But it's always been that way.
there's such a fine line between it all.
But that's the relationship between men and women, man and female. You know what I'm saying? Or not necessarily men and female, just two people who have those pheromones where they feel that connection, or you don't. But that's been the nature of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be willing to take that shot, and if you feel like that vibe is there, you got to either ride with it and come with an A game, or you come with a fucking sloppy game and you get, you know, called out for that shit. But there ain't no difference between now and back then. There's always been assholes who, again, like they don't do it with class. They don't know how to compliment a woman other than being like, hey yo, shorty, sexy, what up, da, 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 and, you know, try to talk regardless, opposed to, you know, okay, look, I'm in a situation, I'm in a one-on-one, let me compliment, or whatever it is, whatever your game technique is, you know what I mean? But you can't just be like expecting a woman because she's walking down the street and you're whistling, and you're like, shorty, come here, da, 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 and, you know, trying to get a number. and
Well, that's the thing.
expecting
It's
it,
kind of
you
like
know?
the dick pic thing with me. Like, it makes me curious. It's like, how many times does this actually work?
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you been like walking down the street and been like,
No.
"Yo, you sexy girl," and like she'd be like, "Oh, I wanna fuck." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. You gotta know your type. You gotta know the game. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
understand what
it's
I'm
like
saying?
it's like the precursor to the dick pic.
Of course it is. Of course.
The cat call is the original dick pic.
Of course it is. Of
Word.
course it is. You know, but again, it's timing, placement, where you're at. I mean, if you're at the club, it's gonna be expected. If
What
she's
about
walking
those-
down the street and she's trying to get somewhere, she got groceries in her hands. You know, it's like, yo, leave me the fuck alone. I got
What
shit to do.
Or is the original
That's the way I look at
Right.
it, man.
Is the original cat dick pic when you would just run up and flash a chick? You know those like, those like
Technically,
fucking
yeah.
creepy motherfuckers
With a
who wear
trench
like a
coat.
trench coat, yeah, just like walk up and like flash women and shit. Oh, there's been serial flashers that
Nah,
have, like,
man. The
yeah,
original
man.
dick pic was the David. Or like those clay
Yeah,
pots
we
back in
said that.
Greece.
No, the
Yeah.
fuck.
The what? Sorry, my
The
bad.
statues and shit.
What, you like
Yeah.
put a dick on it or something?
No,
Yeah,
you
these
you
statues.
you'd make a dildo mold out of clay of your
But how do
penis.
we get from talking about like cat
And give it to a
calls?
girl you
That's
admired.
weird. But yeah, no, man. When
I
it
never
comes
did
to
that shit.
I just made that up.
I do. Okay.
but when it comes to when it comes to like cat calling or calling out a woman or whatever, again, there's a fine line between harassment and complimenting. I mean, you gotta work on the game. That's what teenage years are for. That's what middle school and high school's for.
Yeah.
Like I have friends in high school who were so they had so much anxiety when it came to talking to women that they didn't talk to women at all in high school. But that's where you're supposed to learn your saying your moves, your technique and whatnot.
So do you think maybe Robert Kelly is conducting an experiment? Like, do you think maybe because he was popular in high school, because he was a singer already and stuff, and he didn't have that he's like going back and trying to find himself in that fine line? It's just taking him a long time.
Wow.
No.
That's
I think
a
he's a fucking
theory,
pervert. I think he's a fucking pervert.
Do you think that
He's always been
he's
one.
like, I'm just trying to find myself?
No, he's a weirdo.
Kind of like Michael when he had bubbles on him and shit. He's like,
Oh,
I just need to find myself, guys.
this motherfucker.
Leave me alone.
Nah, man, he's just a weirdo. Maybe, I don't fucking know, man. I ain't no psychologist.
Doesn't
I
that
don't give
make-
two shits about him
like,
anyway.
doesn't that
I
make
take the
the-
Vince Staples approach when it comes to that motherfucker. That's my exact approach when it comes to R. Kelly. I take the Vince Staples approach. Remember all the fucking horrible things he did. That's it.
It's like
Have you seen the video?
What video?
The video of Vince Staples where he's talking about where he's
No,
basically like.
I didn't know. I didn't know
Oh,
what
dude,
you
there's a
were
video
referring
from
to.
him from Coachella where like he's getting interviewed and he's like I'm a good person. Da da da. He's like, look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly's a horrible person. And he starts talking about all the shit that like R. Kelly did. He's like, see, I can never go to jail because I'm a good person. If he hasn't gone to jail, how can I go to jail? And like the interview, like the girl interviewing at Coachella, she's so awkward, so like I don't know what the fuck to say here. Like, can we change the
It's
subject?
almost
He's
like
nah,
he's
like
admitting to something.
yeah. So Vince Staples was just going there, and I think that was last year Coachella or whatever. That's my approach when it comes.
Wow,
to it.
Vince
Fuck this
Staples
guy,
is
man.
on the next
Yeah,
level.
he's on some different shit, man.
He's
Like, he's
hilarious.
real. He's got no filters. He's like Eric Andre. He's got no
Yeah.
fucking
He's
filter
so
when it comes
funny,
to this
man.
shit. Yeah,
He's hilarious.
I love Vince Staples.
And he makes good music.
He does, and he's
Yeah.
I think he's was it fucking straight edge? He doesn't do drugs.
Do you
he doesn't
think
drink
Vince
or anything.
Staples and Vic Mensa should battle?
Why? What the fuck? Why?
I thought they were the same person when we were talking.
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
that's
I
what
know,
I
I
confused.
get that.
No, I remember
their
Yeah,
names are so
and
similar
throw
to
in
me.
Yeah.
was it and then was it Casey Veggies or whatever back in the day and shit? Because they all came around the same
Yeah.
time. Them and Tyler the Creator.
They like
and-
all started rapping the year V for Vendetta dropped.
Really? What the fuck? No, man. They were probably all like fucking 8 years old when V for Vendetta dropped.
They're like, oh yeah, man, V is a cool letter. It's gonna be my rap name.
That's so weird. You just have like the craziest free association.
Shit connects, yeah,
man. Like, so weird. Fucking weird.
Fucking millennials.
Yeah, fucking millennials get blamed for everything in this world.
They shouldn't though,
nowadays.
man. It, like they got parents, they got people that raised them.
True.
That's whose fault is that?
No, that's
Yeah.
a really good thing right there. You know what I mean? Like the youth is a reflection of their adults and their surroundings and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like they didn't just all of a sudden poof appear. I mean, every generation wants to carve out their own kind of niche and do their own type of thing. But in actuality, it takes a village to raise a child or whatever. You know what I mean? So
You know what? Sorry, not to cut you off, but I just got a great idea for like a movie.
okay. I'm waiting already. I know this is
Alright.
gonna be
'Cause
crazy.
You know how we keep like raising our generations to be more pussy and shit?
Oh my god.
and like more
Alright.
sensitive.
Okay.
Like, so there's this guy, right?
Yeah.
He sees this, and then it's like almost like a Back to the Future type of thing. He finds a time machine, except
Yeah.
he can go back and he can.
Go on.
It's
Do tell.
opposite. He can bring himself, the younger him, to the future. After you know what I mean?
And get his
he
ass
does
beat
that.
by his younger self.
Nah, man, he comes back he goes to the future as the younger him, and he's like, man, all these kids are pussy, and he just beats up everybody. The meanest bully of all time. You got like
Man.
a whole fucking suburban town in fucking
See, you would actually think that,
Pennsylvania
right?
on lock.
I think you'd actually like think that, but to be honest with you, with the advent of UFC, I think people kick the fuck out of people from back in the day now. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of guys are walking around with some actual.
Yeah, but I'm
MMA
talking about
training.
like kids here. Like he comes back to the future as a kid in grade school, and he just beat everybody
Or
up.
like 8 years old.
He's like, yeah, I'm the toughest motherfucker, and he just runs the town because
Yeah.
everyone's so pussy.
So like an 8-year-old comes. What the fuck are you An 8-year-old just comes to.
All right, think about a dude in the '70s, right? Who grew up fighting all the way through high school, grade school, high school, everything, right?
Right,
And now think
right.
about this new generation where a lot of kids don't even get in a fight in their childhood.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
So
crazy,
that
though.
guy brings himself back from the '70s as a kid to the future. He's like, yeah, I'll run this school.
Can it be?
He was the punk back in the '70s.
Can it be Sean Penn, and can he bring himself back as Spicoli?
It's got to be John Travolta.
Nah, it's gotta be Spicoli.
And then like,
It's gotta be fucking Spicoli.
and it's got to be like the kid from The Omen or something who plays the kid in the future who just comes and whoops everyone's ass. It's like, yeah, I was a pussy in '76, but in 2019 I'm killing all y'all motherfuckers.
Crazy. Have you ever seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Like maybe a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be crazy if it was fucking Sean Penn and he had like flashback to his character all stoner and shit.
Or like, can him and Matt McConaughey play the same role? But like, you just like, you're like wondering, you're like, oh, I guess Matt McConaughey is that guy now. And then like the
Nah.
next scene, it's like back to Sean Penn. You're like, oh, I guess Sean Penn as a younger him in Fast Times at Ridgemont High is the guy now.
I'm so fucking
And then you're
lost.
just
I'm so lost. I have no idea.
The mind of Maloney.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I wish you were on camera, this camera, so people could see, and understand more of your weird fucking story that you tell.
Speaking of weird stories, let's get back to the fucking puddle of shit that is R. Kelly.
We're pissed.
Oof.
I don't know.
Do you know what's funny too? When you made the post, you're like the surviving open bar, and just like someone's like too soon. It's like really, if you think about it, like most of these charges are like a decade, 2 decades. Long.
It's not that soon.
It's not that soon. If I can make jokes about 9/11, I can make jokes about.
Don't fuck. Don't fucking kill me.
Oh man, listen, man, he should have been written out of fucking the books a long time ago, man.
Yo, what about Star getting fired from Hot 97 for dropping a plane crash noise effect when Aaliyah passed?
That's
Wow.
really not classy.
That's why he got
Yeah,
Hey, it
that
is
was an asshole
tasteless.
move.
It's
That was an
tasteless.
asshole move.
Like, that's fucked up.
Of course you're gonna get fired for that shit.
Like,
he's
that's
a-
fucked up,
But
though.
Star's a piece of shit. He knows it.
Yeah, but I didn't realize he was that much of a piece of shit. So, like, because the last week I've really been digging into, like, Star shit.
Oh man.
And that's why I said, like,
He's a piece
even
of
like in
shit.
the group chat, I was like, I finally just heard the Dre Bars and Star thing
yeah,
because
shut
I
up,
was
bars,
like,
man.
I'd never seen it because I never really got into Star. And now I've been
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
a lot of his like old shit lately. I'm like, yo, this guy was savage
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
2000s.
He
Like,
was a
holy
piece of
shit.
shit.
2000s, the fucking 90s, bro. He was peaking in the 90s. He used to be the host of Yo MTV Raps, him and his little brother, man.
No.
Yeah.
Yo, on TV Raps is that Lover and fucking.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
he
were
had
the
the
hosts
host,
after
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I thought those were the hosts the whole time.
Nah, that shit started with Fab Five
Yeah.
Freddy, and then went to
Ed
Ed Lover and
Oh,
Dr.
shit.
Dre, and then went to Star and Buckwild. And
Star
then
and
after
Buckwild,
that,
that's
Star
like
and
this-
Buckwild era was crazy, man. They're
like
the original
they're
fucking
like
Wendy
the Harry
Williams
Stern of
times
hip
fucking
hop,
10,
man.
man.
They're like
Yeah. They were
Yeah,
fucking
man.
wild, bro. Are you
Like,
kidding
Star
me?
is the original troll.
Jesus, yeah.
Like,
remember-
there's no Charlemagne without his.
Man,
without
no, not
Even
at all.
Flex is getting on his like
Yeah.
his Star shit.
Listen, back in the
Ebro
day,
went on his Star shit.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
started dissing like the hip hop he likes.
back in the day,
Yeah.
I would buy, I'd buy the Source magazine, and the last page there was an article that was done by Buck Wild. I think it was really written by Star, but he just did it under his little brother Buck Wild's name. But it was the wildest shit. like in the fucking world. Like if I can go back and find some of my old sources, circa 90, let's say like 95 to like 99, the ones where he actually did that last article in the back of the source and like show you some of them, like there were some of the funniest trolling. It was trolling, but like there was no online shit, so he was just trolling the hip hop fucking generation at that time like crazy. Like people wanted to kick those motherfuckers asses back in the day, bro. Like Star Buck Wild was something else.
Apparently Star used to keep the thing with him too.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
He's,
you gotta protect himself,
he's
man.
known to like.
He's an interesting
fucked
character.
a couple people up.
He's a very, very interesting character.
What about the DJ Envy shit?
With his
which
wife,
one?
and then
Oh.
talking shit about his wife and him getting caught cheating.
When he
and shit
sued
like that.
him.
Yeah, man.
When he sued Envy,
Yeah.
or Envy sued
Envy
him.
sued them,
When
I
Envy
think.
sued
Oh,
him.
Envy's sensitive as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, we might get sued for saying that.
No, man, I like Envy's, you know, but
I like Envy.
that last, you remember the
Cool,
thing
make
with
us
when
think.
Miro and whatever his name is, they
So,
went on,
they had beef for
Yeah.
a while too, man.
and then when they
I
went
like
on the
those-
show,
I like those guys.
They went on the
man.
show, and then Envy was ready to, like, you know, he was plotting on them.
Yeah.
But then he made himself look even stupider.
Hey, man.
He's very
Well,
sensitive,
Are
bro.
those the guys that came on the show and then like Charlemagne kept edging him? He's like, "Why you mad? You mad? Why did you talk about why you mad?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, I asked you guys to do a show."
Yeah, yeah,
And like he's
yeah.
like it was like something like
Yeah,
super,
Something like that.
Are
They
you-
were for
did he leave the show? Yeah, like he stepped out and walked out the door.
Envy?
Yeah.
I think he left that episode.
How you leaving your own show?
No, you know what? There's another episode where there's like an artist, and I can't remember who. And
Yeah.
Charlemagne keeps edging him because he knows Envy's like got an issue with, like,
Yeah.
has like a secret tip,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's like not admitting. He's like, "Nah, man, we good." And then Charlemagne's like, "Man, why don't you just tell him? Like, just tell him." He's like, "All right, man, you know what?" And he's like breaks it down. It's like because he like didn't like do like a summer jam or like something
Yeah,
for him. Like he
yeah.
approached him about something, and like the guy's honestly like, "Oh, like I forgot, like my bad." G." Like or like it was like something so simple, and then they hatched it out right there.
Yeah.
I got a
But it was
question.
something like Envy been holding on this guy for
Yeah.
like years.
I got a
You
question.
got issues,
was
man.
a
You got
rapper.
issues.
Why don't we
man.
have anything that's kind of like the equivalent, like a daily type show here in TO? You know what I'm saying?
Technically, we
Something-
do, like, but no one's taking it to that level.
Exactly.
Like, German, what's his name again? They should have a show like that.
Yeah,
They have a
you-
daily show, but
No, do you know what
Yeah.
they gotta do?
Mm.
After I built Breaking Records Radio for about 5 more years, they gotta give me a breakfast show, and I can just always have dope ass guests. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes the Breakfast
So
Club
you got
so
that
good.
5-year plan.
Yeah.
but Toronto's messed up because someone
Another
kicking the
5
door and
years.
shit.
Oh, I got
man,
planned,
like,
yeah.
Nah, someone should be doing that shit now. Man.
Someone's gonna get beat
Fuck
up
it.
for doing that
Yeah,
in
but you need the
Toronto.
right person, man.
We don't
Like,
have to do a trolling ass style the way
Yeah.
they do it. You know what I mean? You don't have to fucking mimic these guys.
No,
Yeah.
do you know?
The exact same way they do it. I like Sway. I like Sway's approach.
Yeah, but do you know why all these morning
Yeah,
shows are
yeah,
successful?
Sway's dope.
Because they have successful people as guests.
Yeah.
They're not just self-sustainable.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And like no one who does like radio or anything, like, you know what I mean? Like, think about this, like, and I'm not to disrespect anybody, but why when DMC of Run DMC comes to Toronto, am I interviewing him for my independent radio show, but he's not going up to fucking,
G98 or in a place.
yeah, like why, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
should be going there.
no,
Well, because we know at this particular point in time that move ain't flowing anymore. You know what I'm saying? Move ain't flow. Flow
it's
at
not
least
like
might have
DMC's
like.
declining the
Well,
interview.
yeah.
The thing is, our
Right.
media just doesn't reach out to people. There's nobody doing ground research sitting there. That's why they need to hire somebody like me for a
Yeah.
fucking
Nah, I feel you.
for a morning show, because I'm gonna get
Nope.
guests on there and shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna treat that show like I treat my own.
All right, so
You
here's
know
what we're
I
gonna
mean?
do right now.
Campaign.
Take 60 seconds, and I want you to campaign for yourself. Throw it out there right now. Why any of these motherfucking companies out here should hire you, Kelly Maloney, at this exact moment, so that we can change this shit.
Well, that's why I said give me 5 years till I build my shit up a little bit
Trying
more.
to give you 60
and it's
seconds.
But if they
self-sustaining.
were to
Hit
give you a
yourself,
show
man.
right
And then
now,
hit yourself.
Then my
bro.
resume just
if,
Nah, I
but
feel
put it
you.
like
I
this,
feel you.
for itself.
if they were to give you a show right now, what would you say to get that show?
It would depend what the show was, whatever.
No,
was
what
coming
you
with it.
want to do. Like, yo,
As long
Maloney,
as
we're
the
gonna
pay
give
is
you a
good.
slot.
I just don't feel like my resume.
No,
is
I
where it's at,
understand that.
where
I
get
understand that, right?
compensated
I understand that. I understand
understand.
that.
Well,
I understand
fuck,
how you feel, but it's not always
your
about how you
ideal?
feel. I know a dude who got a radio slot. He got a 5-hour radio slot in Chin Radio.
Yeah,
He has zero experience
yeah.
whatsoever. This was back in 2002, and he used it to market and promote his clothing brand and his whole concept of it was called Flacco Beats
Yeah.
or Beats, right? But then he made it Flacco Beats Radio, and he was pushing Latino hip hop
Yeah.
and whatever. Ended up on the show, whatever, it was cool. Then we started doing our own kind of thing because he wasn't there. He's like, "You got 5 hours. Do
Yeah.
what the fuck you want."
Yeah.
We started doing the fuck we wanted. The guy's like, "Yo, man, I like everything you guys are doing, but it's starting to sound like flow." And I'm like, well,
They didn't
you
want that.
If you want it to be a certain way, then you need to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I do? Just walked off the show after. Like, fuck this. It's not because it didn't belong to me.
Yeah.
But 5-hour slot. So you can get shit. You can just do it.
Was
Don't
he
wait.
paid for it or did he get it
No,
for free?
no, it was on Chin, so it wasn't paid.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can leverage
See,
yourself.
that's the thing, yeah.
You don't gotta wait to build up this crazy ass resume before you approach me.
No, but see, the thing is, I don't want free radio time.
No, you want to
what
get
I mean?
paid. I
could
get it. You want to get
But the
paid.
whole
I'm
thing
saying
is-
like,
But
yeah,
what I'm saying is,
one of these corporations
all I'm
needs to
saying,
invest in
all
me
I'm
for a
saying
morning
is,
show.
no, but what I'm saying is, it's about showing. Hold on. It's about showing and improving, right? Like even Dave Nellis, right?
Yeah.
Dave Nellis, when he was working at Whitflow, he started as promo,
Yeah.
right? He worked his way up.
Yeah.
Now he's got, I don't know if it's a morning show or he's on there on a regular basis, but it's very possible. I'm not saying if he can do it, you can,
Yeah.
but you're already doing. You're
Well, that's
doing.
the thing. I'm building my resume
yeah,
on the street. You know,
yeah,
I'm building
yeah.
my resume.
You're already doing it
My way.
I know.
You
I
know
understand
what I
it,
mean?
but I understand it. But
Street, bro.
you can easily
Well, like, you know what I mean? Direct.
Nah.
Like,
you can
know
easily
what I mean?
get there if you just. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
but I
do
go
what
in
you do.
and interning and serving.
No,
people's
it's not that
coffee
you gotta
and
do
shit,
that and
you know
shit.
what I'm
You know what?
Listen,
Not saying you gotta
listen.
do that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because even Puffy was an intern at one point.
Absolutely.
So it's really not about any of that. That
No,
sometimes that's what
I
opens
think
the
that.
doors. That's what opened the doors.
Check
Like,
this out,
But
though.
the
Even
thing
with-
is,
yeah.
radio is dying too. So I'm
Exactly.
not gonna go take
Yeah.
this 10-year approach
Yeah.
to get to a point out
no,
where I can get
obviously,
myself there.
obviously. But if you're saying what you're saying,
Yeah.
regardless if it's dying or not, if someone
Yeah.
said, "Here, we're gonna give you a certain amount of money right now to do this shit," you're gonna be like, "Yo, I'm gonna build my resume first, and then
No, but-
fucking take the money."
but check
No,
this out.
think-
Stop
yeah,
this,
no,
bro.
I'm offering money to do it right now. That's what I'm saying off the rip.
things can come quicker than you think.
Yeah.
You just have to want it.
No,
That's all
absolutely.
I'm saying.
I agree with what you're saying. But what I want to say is
That's
like,
facts.
yeah.
That's facts.
what I want to say is, you know what I mean? Like, a big part of what Maloney just said is definitely true, which is that terrestrial radio is pretty much dying. You know, so shout out to Chris and shout out to Mike for what they've done here,
Yeah.
for example. And another thing is, you know what I'm saying, we have to stop taking this wait and see
Yeah.
approach and you know what I'm saying, looking at it like, okay, well, you know, whatever. A perfect example is a show, I don't know if either of you guys have ever watched it online, but it's called Money and Violence.
Yeah, I
This
remember
came
that,
out,
yeah.
I've heard
this
of it.
came out about, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the first season. So Hood show online, and then eventually Lionsgate picked it up for season 2. They never came back for season 3 or whatever. But since then, there's been a boom in Hood shows on YouTube, right? But it took somebody to do it first, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing is right now, what you're saying, you know, this, that, and the other, bro, you've built up Breaking Radio to the point where, again, you know, you could do a daily show if you want online. Fuck the radio. Like you were saying,
Yeah.
radio's dying. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just a matter of just facilitating it and you know, capturing it the right way and carving out that chunk of time or whatnot. But at this point, you know, just fucking do it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man,
saying?
make it happen. If academics could do it,
Yeah.
anybody can.
That's
Yeah,
true.
man, like, I'm not
Daily
even gonna
show
lie.
is not a bad
I'm,
idea, actually.
like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm looking into at least, like, I'm probably gonna set up a little just 5-minute daily show in the next couple of weeks where I just jump on 5 minutes a day and just drop an opinion on something, whether it's music, politics related, or whatever. And just boom, you know, daily TO Talks, you know what I'm saying? Daily Toronto Talks, and then we have our weekly podcast and whatever. But this is where it's at. This is the future. Even if no one's watching right now, we're just like getting practice time in or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this shit is where the fucking future is at. And I guarantee you that there are more people watching The Breakfast Show online than there are actually listening
listening
to
to the
it.
syndicate.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
and
always with
that's really what my thing is. Like, why can't Toronto have our own online syndicated show like that? That's why I really
Well, 'cause
love We Love Hip Hop,
that's
because
why-
they're
yeah,
getting to
yeah,
that
yeah.
type of level. They're
Yeah.
really laying that foundation
Yeah.
down within the city. But we
But they're
just,
once a week.
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. A morning show,
Yeah.
though. That's why, like, someone's got to be behind it
No,
to be
I
able
feel
to
you.
pay
Yeah,
for it.
I feel you.
because we
Yeah.
all got to work normal ass
Yeah,
jobs.
of course.
You know what I mean? So I can't just be like, oh, sorry, I'm going to be
I
in at
feel you.
Well,
work
you can always
at 11 every day
feel
because
you.
you could always present something to a company and see how they
that's the
take it.
thing. Like,
And it doesn't have to be like 2 hours every day. It
Like,
could
it's
be
not like the
10
Breakfast
minutes.
Club is a self-sustained thing too.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? Like a company, a
Yeah.
corporation with a large budget went and seeked out 3 individuals they thought would make a good morning show.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
people came
They're,
and,
they're a conglomerate.
Yeah.
They are what they are.
you know what I mean?
I just mean that,
and, like,
you know what I mean?
Toronto could have that though.
Exactly.
If you picked out some of the best media personalities and, like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
put it like this: who would be the best media personalities in Toronto?
Yeah.
I would say T-Rex would be good. Him. What's the girl's name again? She's on G98.
Boogie.
Little Red.
Little Red. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
I'm just thinking
of,
about combinations of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right? Maybe even links or
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of other people. But
Yeah.
You
do
can
we
even go
really
unknown.
have
You
a
can go
lot
unknown.
of radio personalities in Toronto that are
Yeah.
well known?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel
Yes,
you.
no, kind of.
I feel you.
It depends.
Yeah.
I
right?
feel you. I absolutely
Yeah.
feel you. And that's why it would be great, you know what I'm saying? Again, like no one's watching right now, that's cool. But, you know, like our goal within this year is, you know, by 2020 to like have something where we've carved out that new fucking niche for where you can go with, you know what I'm saying, like presenting multimedia, hip hop, politics, news, you know, moving forward and, you know, in the future and whatnot. I don't know if that, if I'm stammering right now, if you understand exactly what I'm saying, but
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
needed. It's necessary.
yeah,
like,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
like-
we're trying to carve out that niche. And,
anything that's local, and Stacey brought it up,
right.
a whole bunch of people, it's not spoken about in Toronto.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the reason, it's like, okay, well, we should know more about the
Right.
Dre bars. We should know more about
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah,
Stitch and
I
everything
literally,
Stitch
like,
accomplished.
Like I knew of Dre bars, but I didn't know much. Like I spent like the last 2 days just researching Dre bars, listening to tons of interviews. You know what
That's
I mean?
dope,
Like
man.
peeping all the music videos and shit. And like now I
Yeah.
just feel like I got this. Like it's so weird, like how you can go from like not really knowing anything about somebody to
Yeah.
like knowing everything about them in 2 days.
Yeah.
Not everything, but you know what I mean? Like having like a
That
full,
binge.
like you almost feel like you met this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. He'd be a good person to
you'd
possibly
be dope to have get on the
future.
show. Definitely, that's actually
We'll see
like
if
the more I
politics
was.
allowed at, or, you know.
Yeah, the more I was watching his interviews, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, he's just like, you know what I mean, interesting to listen to, I feel like.
Yeah. No, he's
And
dope.
he's
at
dope
what
on
he
the
does.
mic too, so salute
For sure,
Dre
yeah.
Byers.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like we as Toronto definitely need something similar, you know, and we don't need exactly what they have, but you know, we should be, I think like somebody should be out there, and if not us, somebody else should be like, yo, I need to create like some type of daily fucking thing for this city.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna enhance the
Yeah.
city, you know what I mean? Like it's needed and it's free.
You know what's funny though?
It doesn't cost money the way
You
it
know
would
what's
have
funny,
cost
though?
back in the day. You don't need a fucking studio. You can do it from
Yeah.
home.
if
in
this
front of
if this actually happens
yeah,
outside of this conversation on
Yeah.
any of these stations within the year,
yeah.
we know where they got it from.
Oh, of course, of course.
Media
Of course,
ain't
you're
even
stealing
biting.
our
You know what I mean?
intellectual property, mother.
Hey.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do this right now.
Yeah.
I was actually just about to tell Dustin in mid-talk and be like, you should stop now, because you're really just laying
You
out a
gave
blueprint
someone-
for
yeah,
something.
Nah, but you
yeah.
know what? The blueprint needs to be laid.
Yeah,
man. The
whether-
foundation needs to
yeah.
be laid. Whether it's, you know what I mean? It ain't about like who does it first. It's just about it getting done.
Yeah.
It's important that it
Fact.
gets done, and we need to lay down the new foundation in the city so that there's
Especially
new
with all these
wealth,
artists
new
that we have,
avenues,
right?
New money. Absolutely. You
A lot
know
of
what I
people don't
mean?
even know they're from Toronto or the GTA.
I just
Right.
think
whatever
it's
the case may
bugged
be.
out that there's not like any sort of syndicated radio show in here in Ontario that has like regular guests on it. Like the
Come
amount of
on.
artists that come through here and tour and stuff, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Much
Yeah.
Music had their finger on
Yeah,
the pulse
yeah.
when they were
Yeah.
in their prime. Like someone
Yeah.
came through,
Yeah.
they generally had them for an interview. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like
I think-
whether it was their management reaching out, seeing that could be another problem
Yeah.
too, though.
Not having a
One-
national video station
well,
like we did.
with the independence of the internet, a lot of
Mhm.
people's managers nowadays aren't studio managers.
Yeah.
Or like like
Corporate,
industry,
yeah.
managers. They're like they're homie from
Right,
the hood
right.
and
Yeah.
shit like that. And a lot of these people don't have the drive. Like they're not seeking you out media. They're not seeking you out. Because you
Mhm.
gotta think a publicist like took care of that shit back in the day.
Yeah.
But nowadays a lot of dudes don't even have a publicist. They
Right.
have their like homie who's their manager and you hit him up about all business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've dealt with a lot of artists that like were actually very simple to talk to pretty well. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
where I thought like I'd be jumping through like hot fire.
Yeah, jumping through hoops to get to them,
Yeah.
and just one person.
And then there's other artists who like aren't as big as some of the other artists and like they're harder to reach
Yeah.
just because they have like you know like it's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
But because like yeah, it's just like but I think that could be another problem too.
Yeah,
But-
regardless, problems, whatever.
If,
You know, what I mean?
if
Just
one of these radio stations, any of the like television show,
Yeah.
anything, if they were smart, they would be investing their money into something like that right now. You know what I mean?
Well,
Paying a couple people who have their
yeah.
finger on the pulse, and you know what I mean. Do shit like you know what I mean. Get interviews, get content, stuff like that,
Yeah.
like stuff that'll bring. Because really, at the end of the day, like nobody wants to like. It's like any of these things are successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they take. You have to bring in something a lot of the time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
No,
a lot of these
absolutely.
talk shows and stuff, like even like talk shows on television, all consist like you know what I mean. Of a lot of times consist of people who are like celebrities and certain right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
shit like that, like in
it
their
isn't
past.
even though it isn't so much about like the guests all the time or whatever. It's about the content. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's about It's about, what's the word? It's about you know, scheduling. You know what I'm saying? It's about doing everything at a certain time every day. It's about building up that family. It's about building up something. You know what I mean? And that's something where we're kind of lacking right now in Toronto, is just building up our multimedia presence, our multimedia people. You know, because we don't have much music anymore.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, and you could look at someone like Young Turks, for example, whether you like them politically or not, just what they're able to do and show you, hey, this is what you can do on YouTube, and then you see a bunch of other people. What we could actually do online, we're doing this right now for free off of 2 tablets. It'll get better when we get better equipment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, just bare bones, we can fucking do that. You know what I'm saying? So people just have to have just that do it, and just mentality and start stringing together. And I guess hopefully somebody will just be put in that position shortly where it's like, all right, cool.
I know people are attempting to do stuff, like for instance in the city they have it. Their show is on TV through I forgot the
Rogers or
I don't. It's not a Rogers
Access
network.
TV or whatever.
No, it's not even Access TV. But you know, again, he's using what he has to make it look like a regular show where artists get interviewed and all this other stuff. And a lot of local artists get interviewed as well, right? But again, everything's consistency.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not every day. I think it's every Saturday from what I know. But you know what I mean? There's even Master T. He has a show. So, but again, I forgot what network it's on. I know it's
and that's the
internet.
you know, we need to know. We need to start knowing where are these networks at. You know, like I'm sure a lot of people would be tuned more into Maximum FM if we had a little bit more knowledge. You know what I mean? Of it's a little bit more presence and whatnot. Because I mean, this network exists. You know what I mean? But we just need to start fucking. I don't know. Like I don't know how we make people know about them. I guess the content.
I actually have an idea that I want to run past you guys after the show. We're not gonna do it on the show.
After the show.
But just about like advertising, putting things out that don't involve online. There's actually very just some basic, simple things that you know, but I would say are proven to kind of work.
Dope.
So that's something I want to discuss after. But yeah, man.
But yo,
do you think the alias for R. Kelly, the Pied Piper, is super fucking creepy now?
Yeah, it's been creepy.
Well, it's been creepy.
I was like,
but like,
it's always been.
But
creepy.
like,
it's a fucking pied pisser, man.
But the Pied Piper literally pulled out a flute.
Yeah. And kids followed him.
Yeah.
Of course, it's fucked up.
And I don't want to make the joke, but come on.
He probably didn't even know it, but I don't know.
He just pulled out the skin flute, fam.
Yeah, he's been fucked from time. You know what I mean? And people, I don't know how they forgot about it or how they
like
didn't
the Pied
remember this
Piper is
stuff.
fucking disgusting, bro. Like think about that's like a thought out metaphor. You're like like
he calls himself that. Like
that's what I mean. Like it'd be one thing if like we called him that. Fucking Pied Piper, you know what I mean? But like he calls himself that. Like he takes he's the Pride Piper. Like he's fucking proud of that shit. Like he's got like an O.J. Simpson kind of sickness to him though. You know what I mean? Like well, if we're gonna talk, like who makes a song I Admit It?
Did he make a song called that?
That 19-minute song.
19-minute song called I Admit It. Like earlier this year.
What are you saying? It?
A lot of shit.
Okay.
But the
shit
shit is,
he was admitting it right there, man.
But the shit is, it's like OJ. Like you get out of prison, you make a book. Like
if I
had done it, it literally explained. Like that's like a different level sociopath right there. Like that's nuts.
Well, when you have everybody saying that you did something that you say that you didn't do. Like the whole fucking beat is like, yo, you did it. So it's like, okay, if I were to do it, I would have did it like this.
Yeah.
If you're on my ass about it, it's like being accused for anything, right?
Yeah. Like, I would just distance myself from everything and everyone. Like
I get it.
In that situation, I'm gone. You're never seeing me. Like
I get that.
Why am I putting out a fucking book to draw more attention to myself?
We gotta look at it like this. OJ,
crazy.
At the time before this even happened, he was one of the biggest.
Yeah, he was an
athlete, actor, etc.
Yeah, he wasn't black. He was OJ.
Exactly. So it's like his mindset in terms of how he deals with the world is totally different than a normal human being.
He's a social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
R.
all about him.
is a sociopath.
Yeah, it's
A
all
lot
on
of
him.
successful people are sociopaths. I sent you guys an email
Yeah,
questioning
about Jay,
possibly if
right?
Jay was sociopathic. But a lot of
Let's
fucking
talk
people,
about it.
a lot
Let's
of
talk
people who are
about it.
successful.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know what I
Justin,
mean?
don't hold your tongue. Let's talk about it.
Well, listen, man. You know, is he? I'm not saying he is, but then I read a list of a
if we
bunch
can
of
ask
different
if
things.
Eminem's gay, you can ask if Hove is.
Man, I can never tell if you're serious when you're asking that question or not.
Well, them receipts look real, man.
Listen, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I can't even.
I'm not saying Jay is or isn't, but on paper, he does seem to exhibit a lot of traits that could be associated with, sociopathic tendencies. Absolutely, you know what I mean? And maybe it's just the way he presents himself in public, which is very guarded, controlling, and just very cool. You know what I mean? But if you read up on the definition and the traits of, sociopathy, you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, that does resemble a lot of successful people. Michael Jordan, for example, Kobe Bryant, for example. It doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna go out there and murder people. It just means that you process emotions in a different way, and you just have this desire just to fucking, do something so much more than anything else, that you're willing to just forgo regular things that other people, understand. That you don't process emotions properly.
But is it a bad thing?
It can be a great fucking thing depending on who you are, and it can be a horrible thing to certain particular situations, right?
Yeah, like if you want to shoot hoops, it's great to have that desire.
Right.
If you want to
That's
fuck
all you want.
underage girls, then it's not good to have that desire.
Exactly. But again, it could be applied to different things. You just,
I had to throw this one away.
you're so driven towards one thing that you don't understand how the other sides of society or certain things function. Emotions, how regular people function, you don't know how to talk and interact with a regular person. It doesn't have to necessarily be deviance when it comes to sex. It could be murderous. It could be fucking sexual deviance. It could just be you're a fucking
Someone
dick.
with a rapist wit.
Exactly. Could be.
I heard that. That's not even the actual
definitely
term.
could be fucking.
Yo,
Yeah. No.
call
It's
it
funny. No. I was talking to my friend about it,
Yeah.
and he said, I forgot the word he used.
Yeah.
It's not rapist. It's something else.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I could Google and double check. But
Yeah, Google that
because
shit.
I brought it. We were talking about the show and I brought it up, and he was
Yeah.
like, "That's not the term." I'm like, "Okay,
Ah.
I don't know. But it's
Malone,
around,
you're
yeah.
cleared.
Maybe. We'll see what's up."
I admit
man,
it.
some people are sociopaths. Yeah, Mike keeps hitting you in the face all show.
Oh man, I could have just made it. You just set me up so good there, but I couldn't do it. That's too far. It's too soon.
Tape isn't working.
Is rapist wit?
I guess so.
A rapist wit?
Oh,
Well,
man.
looks like it's maybe. I guess I'm not sure if it's he's right or you're right, but
It's
looks-
a term. It's an Urban Dictionary term.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's real, but it's
You
not
said it was
Urban
like an
Exactly.
old English saying, and
Yeah,
that was
Dictionary.
so.
Yeah.
Say it right there.
it is someone who wears an orange tuxedo, drives 2,000 miles for a girl they hardly know, and is willing to trade. Well, that's an actual movie or something?
Yeah, it's from
What
that's
the
from fucking
a
Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
You're describing Dumb and Dumber when he's wearing the orange
Oh,
tuxedo
shit.
and
Oh, my
drove cross
God.
country for Mary Swanson or whatever.
Tell
Shout
her
out-
I'm
shout
rich
out.
and I'm good looking and I have a rapist wit. That's what was said.
That's
So it is
that's
actual
Jim
term.
Carrey.
It's actual
Yeah.
term. And so what does it mean?
It's so it kind of was
Yeah,
an old
yeah.
English term, like
Yeah.
1990 fucking six or something.
Old English, you're saying like it's like fucking like I was listening to the episode the other day. I'm like, this motherfucker's making it sound like people in medieval times are like, yeah,
Yo,
I'm
they might
rapist
have.
wit.
They might have.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of raping back then, man.
Yeah, like
So
I'm pretty sure they all had a
it was
rapist
open. It
wit.
was open rape season.
Right.
Yo, open rape season is nuts.
Well,
No
yo,
pun
it
intended.
was like that, man.
Yeah,
People just
it
get
was.
raped left, right, and
Yo.
center, man.
Open
It kinda
rape
was.
season
Unfortunately,
is
Yeah.
women
fucking
didn't
nuts.
have, like rights and shit back then, especially during
Oh, guys
war.
are getting raped too, bro.
Yeah. Everybody, whoever got raped,
Well,
got
I
raped.
guess, especially during war when like towns were getting conquered
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Medieval gods are straight fags. Like dudes are getting raped back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's rapier wit.
Rapier wit.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's probably been altered
It's probably just been altered to rape this wit from fucking Dumb and Dumber.
So yeah, that's
this
what
motherfucker's trying to hit us with. Your old English is crazy, man. That's what he says in the episode.
I'm gonna look this up. What is an English
term? You're watching Dumb and Dumber drinking an old English. Like, shit, what did you say? Old English is crazy.
Yeah. And I was, when he told me, so what does actually the ability to deliver witty and cutting remarks. So it's rapier, not rapist.
Hey.
But it's been remixed. Yeah. Like a lot of shit.
Like Ignition.
Oh my god, I didn't even fucking say that. No, I was gonna say that though.
Oh man.
Because I was actually gonna say
start learning the connections.
I was actually gonna say it myself, but I'm like, no, don't fucking say it.
Maybe you could say I have a rapier's wit.
Maybe. We do have a rapier's wit.
It's still a rapist wit.
Yo, shut us a rapist wit.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
See, my boy's like a fucking.
So it was old English.
He's a
It
fucking.
just wasn't rapist.
It was a rapier.
This guy's like a fucking encyclopedia, my boy. Fuck. Hey, this guy's a fucking. Oh my god.
Is it encyclopedia or a thesaurus?
He's all of that shit.
Okay.
Throw it all in the mix.
And addiction.
He knows a lot of shit.
Yeah, he should like just be here when we do episodes, like standing like, out of the shot.
Correct shit.
Just decoding
he
all
can
the
correct us. He
slang.
can correct everything we do.
Breaking down the things we say.
Yeah.
That's incorrect. That's not how you say it.
It'd be like a Siri.
We had an argument one time about the term Spanish and Spanish people.
Yeah.
And being Hispanic
Like
and this
Hispanic,
and that. And
Latino.
yeah, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, all the Spanish people I know, they said they're Spanish. So that's what I grew up knowing. And he said, no, that's not the right term, and they're lying, and they're not really Spanish, but I'm just like, dude, like, fuck off. I get your point, but fuck off, bro.
It's popular.
Yeah, you ever know people who are like so smart they're annoying?
Yeah.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
That's what YouTube at 4 a.m. when you're stoned is for. You just put it on and you learn a bunch of shit, and you're like, I'm going to talk about this shit for the next fucking week.
Yeah, and then no one wants to smoke blunts with you anymore. You're like, yo, come on, I'll roll.
Yeah,
Like it's all about weed.
I was so happy to know that this term was called rapist wit, and then they're like, well, yeah, they're saying rapist wit, and then it's not rapist, it's rapier. And I'm like, dude, you just ruined the moment, bro. That was an ongoing joke, and you know what I mean? It was like that thing being a rapist, and it's like it's fucked up if you have a rapist wit.
Do you know what's fucked up too? I just made that clip like the other day. I think it goes public in like 2 days. It's
put it up
does
anyways.
Maloney have a rapist wit?
Let's tag Jim Carrey in that.
Yeah, and throw in a clip of the fucking movie.
You know what? My roommate Kyle, like my ex-roommate Kyle, used to say that all the fucking time. So that's why I think it was like, you know what I mean? Like,
Was he like a medieval like?
no, he's a bass player. He's just
He
crazy.
wasn't from the past.
No, he's pretty much from the future.
I'm still
Or
confused
from
why you
now,
thought it
from
was an old
today.
English term, but alright. Well,
No, I, you know what? I had her rapier wit, and like I just like.
yeah, no, you just mixed the two up.
Yeah, I learned everything new. I didn't even know the rapier wit was until after the
Turono
remix.
Talks, motherfucker. You get your English lesson when you listen to us.
It's an etymology class, motherfuckers.
It's fucked up.
Yo, what do you guys think about like? Cause I've been seeing it. It seems like the fucking east end of the city's on fire.
Oh
right
man.
Oh yeah,
Crazy,
man. Someone
shit.
got fucking. There was a double shooting around the corner from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally like
Yeah.
a 2-minute walk.
Queen and Woodbine. I saw you
Yeah.
going live doing that because I
That's
posted
crazy.
right before about it, and then I saw you going live. I'm like, oh shit, this guy. Yeah, I forgot you were right there.
Yeah,
It was that. I
right
remember
there.
coming home New
It's
Year's
fucked
Eve,
up.
and I saw somebody. I saw like all the police or whatever, and someone got stabbed right at me and Danforth there. There was right down the street too, man. Fucking, I think like Greenwood and Gerard. There was the shooting where it was like 40 shots overnight. It was
Wow.
on the street or
Oh,
whatever.
word.
Yeah, and there's a few
Yeah.
shit pop too.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
people got stabbed yesterday. So 2 more homicides. First homicide out there as well. So right now, the east end of the city is really fucking crazy
and the
right
west,
now.
both sides are fucked up.
Yeah. So man, it's wild. You know what I mean? And you know, I kind of coined, or I guess coined whatever, but said like we're kind of like an amalgamation, should become an amalgamation of two cities, which is like the Bay Area and Chicago, like Baycago. Because right now, rent is getting very, very high. It's getting like inaccessible for your average person, and B, it's just like we have this problem where we have a lot of young. I shouldn't say young. We just have a lot of shootings now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't put an age to it because a lot of these people aren't young. It's not just young. Some of it's young, some of it's very young, some of it's as old as I am, if not fucking older.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. We kind of have this weird fucking dynamic going on right now. But yeah, I don't know if it's the new norm. And it's not to say we weren't bad when we were
fucking
younger.
Wild West out here, man. These guys are shooting at each other out of their cars.
Yeah.
Like it went up for 2 blocks. Like
Yeah.
It started on the east side of Woodbine, and one car starts popping at one, And then fucking, like, they get to the other side, like, my side of Woodbine, and that's where the second car got shot up.
Well, that's the thing too. It's not like, you know, like back in the day, whatever. Just like, okay, these guys shot each other, or you know, might have been like
they're driving in cars shooting at each other.
It's mad
that's
wild
like fucked
that.
up. Like that's literally Wild Wild West shit. It's like two dudes on a horse fucking blasting pistol at each other. Like it's fucking nuts.
There's been a lot of drive-bys, man.
A lot of drive-bys, yeah. So it's fucking weird, man. Like I don't, you know,
it's a weird space, man.
It's weird. It might be the new
nuts.
norm. You know, but a lot of it's tied into just a lot of things, you know, and I think we need to study a lot of urban demographics from the United States and just figure out, you know, how they got into particular situations and if some of that stuff's being applied to our city. Chicago being one of them. Chicago's always been Chicago, but, you know, if you look early 2000s when they tore down, I think it's called the Green Project or whatever, you look at how things changed, the dynamic, right? The people dispersed. We did something similar here, you know, we tore down a few different projects.
Nuts? If you think about, like, projects, like, you know what I mean? Like, the multiple building, high-rise ones, like, the ones, like, in the fucking west, north of the city and shit like that. Yeah. Like, if you take, like, you know, like, a row of, like, those 5 buildings that are, like, whatever projects, right? There's, like, enough people housed in those 5 buildings that's, like, that are considered towns in other places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a high
density.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's high dense, so it's like you know what I mean? Like and I don't mean this metaphor disrespectfully, but it's like when you cage a bunch of animals in fucking one thing. You know what I mean? Like the pressure's gonna boil and people are gonna pop off at each other. Like. You know what I mean? People naturally need like more security, more space. Like to just have a ton of people housed up in a certain location. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where there's not opportunity and where like it's very condensed. Then like it's like literally a boiling pot about to burst.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like which is like
content's under pressure, man.
No, I definitely agree.
It doesn't like it really doesn't make sense. Like
I agree
and
with that.
that's the thing. Like but one thing I don't think a lot of people realize is the actual populations of these things is like literally, like that would be like a Paris, Ontario, like a whole fucking town that has like its own like way of like, you know what I mean, like doing shit and like, you know what I mean. And people don't look at that. Like people look at like projects like it's just part of Toronto, but no, like actually one of those is like its own fucking town.
Yeah, but doesn't
geographically it's a lot smaller, but that you know what I mean. So you tear one down.
Yeah, exactly.
You just had a whole town of people migrate to your city.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. So now they got dispersed. They got to move different parts of town. Things of that nature.
And it's spreading. And the reason why it's spreading is because of that.
Well, not even just that. Then you build up something new, something fancier, something prettier. You get new people moving in. But a lot of the new people moving in, they want certain things. They want drugs. You know, drugs are a part of society. They want Starbucks or whatnot. But drugs are a part of society, right? With higher clientele, new money, they don't want the same drugs that were there when it was a project. They want condominium style drugs. They want the powder. They want the real thing. They want, you know, they want to spend more money, right? So now you're creating drug wars, property wars, you know what I'm saying? Turf wars amongst the people who are still there versus the people who want to come back and get some of that property. And, you know, you're creating a similar problem where the people have been dispersed, where if some of those people were involved in certain things. And so, you know, just certain problems are being created. You know what I mean? There's ways to do it. There's ways to, like, I think, you know, to I guess, revitalize communities, and there's ways not to do it, you know, and I don't know if Toronto's going about the right way doing it right now, thinking about our future properly, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there's only so much property,
like they tore down half a fucking region to build fucking condos.
Yeah. And it's not even just that, they're building condos everywhere. But what they're not necessarily building is parks. There are a lot of parks in the city.
Parks.
A lot of dog parks for sure. But, you know.
Yeah, the people that want Starbucks want dog parks.
Like, if you're going to build these condos, put a new community center in the neighborhood. Put a new basketball court in the neighborhood. Put a new park in the neighborhood. Put a new outdoor gym. So in the summertime, people can work out and, you know, say not just for the kids, but for everybody in the community and whatnot. One thing I have seen them starting to do is there are cement ping pong tables at parks lately. But you know what I mean? Like, so there's ways to do it. But, you know.
They eventually want to get rid of all the old residents. That's the plan. That's what
Absolutely.
they're not.
Absolutely. It's happening in your neighborhood as well, right? It's been happening in your neighborhood. Hiking up the fucking rent, trying to get
fixing the apartments.
Right.
When they're in
the apartment I live in, and that's what's going on. We have the guy who owns it.
Slumlord.
Basically, to my knowledge, he he inherited it.
Yeah.
And he kind of like like he didn't go
Doesn't know what to do
he didn't go to
with
school
it.
or anything. Like he just kind of like he basically just uses our building as a bank account.
Yeah,
He doesn't work,
yeah.
doesn't do anything, but like instead of like investing into other properties and shit, you know what I mean?
Tax
Like
write-off for
he
him.
just literally just sits there and collects the money and just like it's kind of like a
Yeah,
and he doesn't
exactly.
care about the building. Like he doesn't like.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
don't know if it's necessarily like, you know what I mean, with anything in mind though. Like, we could tear it down and build something bigger. Like, I don't think he's thinking like
he's
that.
probably-
Like,
he's
he
probably
just
waiting for
literally
bid.
doesn't care.
He's probably waiting for that bid because you're what by
Yeah,
that
for an
McDonald's.
offer, probably waiting for an offer.
Are you by the McDonald's?
Like kind of.
Okay, and it's not. It's
We're
not
at like Queen of Woodbine. Like where the
Okay.
shooting was literally like right there.
That's how it works.
Oh, so right by the Pizza. No, because that's
I'm on the
Coxwell.
opposite side.
Because that's Coxwell, where the
There's a pizza at Queen of Woodbine too.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Like
about.
right on your way up to the beach.
Yeah, and just gas station.
No gas station.
Okay, but I know the area.
But,
I'm just
yeah.
in my head.
There's
right
a
now.
gas station like the block before it at Kingston and
Exactly.
Woodbine.
And you
Yeah.
come down and there's fucking pizzas everywhere in that area.
Fucking pizza. Yo, the craziest shit. The other day we're driving and I think it's on like Gerard Street or something, like in between like Coxwell or no, sorry, it's what's fucking up north? I can't.
Danforth?
No, it's North South Street, not East West Street.
Oh,
But it's in between Gerard, I think, and like Gerard's in East West.
Yeah.
Probably in between Gerard and like what's the one after Gerard? Not Dundas. Before.
Danforth.
Is it Danforth?
Yeah, Danforth.
Yeah, maybe in between that area. Either way, but
Yeah.
there's two pizzas literally on like there's one on the corner right here, and then like it's like a 3-minute walk, and it's on the exact next corner right there.
Yeah.
Like Gerard and Coxwell or something like.
Yeah.
And then like the
There's
the
another
block
pizza,
down,
yeah.
literally like I was like, yo, who is that fat that you can't walk to the other pizza?
Oh no, dude, absolutely. Same thing on there's one.
Like that's nuts.
I think on Parliament, it's like that. Like Parliament and
Like-
Gerard, it's like that. You're like, yo, what the fuck? There's pizza here, and then you walk like next block, and you're like, what the fuck's another pizza? You know what else is becoming like that? Is A&W. A&W's.
Yeah, they are
everywhere.
popping up like crazy. Actually,
Holy shit!
you know what? I fuck
They're
with
everywhere.
A&W hard.
Yeah, I like A&W.
They're like one of the best like fast food places.
Have you tried the no meat burger?
No, but I love veggie burgers, so I gotta try it.
Okay, it's pretty good, man. I was impressed. I
I love
wasn't
veggie
mad at the fucking no meat protein.
You know what? I prefer a good veggie burger to a
Yeah.
good beef burger.
Yeah, straight up.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like once you get into like good quality beef, like burgers are all very similar at a certain
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like veggie burgers, they really range in difference. And like a good veggie burger, yo, that shit is like it's good. It's got a lot of flavor and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beef don't really got that much flavor. Beef tastes like beef.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Got
So like,
seasoning.
and it's like really greasy and shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like a good veggie burger, in my opinion, is better than like a good beef burger.
Touche, man. I'm gonna take them in. I'm taking some more veggie burgers, man. I
Yeah,
haven't really
yeah.
had a whole lot my whole
I
life.
fucks
I had
with
that
them.
one. You know, like I said, I tried that A&W one. I've had a few others before.
I gotta try that
You know
one.
what fucked me up the other day?
Rody?
Nah, man, we went to this vegan spot.
Yeah.
What's it called? Vegandale?
Okay. Yeah.
And my boy, he's a vegan and shit. And we get there and I'm looking at the
Yeah.
fucking menu, trying to look at vegetables and shit.
Yeah.
And everything is named after meat. Because it's like a transitional spot.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't order. I was like trying to figure what to order. I'm like chicken, waffles, Philly cheesesteaks. And I'm like, is this meat or is this fucking
Yeah.
vegetables?
Yeah, like a lot of places will
started
do
fucking
like
my head up.
jackfruit for pulled
Yeah,
pork
yeah.
and stuff.
Okay.
There was
Yeah.
a dope there was a really I don't know if it's still there. I can't remember what it's called.
But it was dope. The food was
In
dope.
Kensington Market, they're
Mm.
like right on Spadina there pretty
Yeah,
much. There was
making
a
me
dope
hungry, man.
little Caribbean, like in a basement,
Yeah.
Caribbean vegan place. And it was
Yeah.
fucking delicious. They had like a jackfruit curry, I think. I
Yeah.
got the one day or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, yo, this shit was absolutely
Yeah, I need to divulge in that shit.
like,
It was good though. I was like, yeah. But now I'm like, am I gonna get the cheese stick? But I'm like thinking vegetables. I'm thinking meat. Like this makes no fucking sense to me.
I know it's like super confusing.
Yeah.
right? I know, because we
Yeah.
go in like the same with the Caribbean
Yeah.
place. Because I'm like, I go in and like yeah, it's like a vegan place. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like
You guys are making me hungry.
it was like I can't remember, but they called it like it was like chicken curry. Like
Yeah.
the name of it at the spot wasn't like jackfruit. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had to like ask them like, oh well, it's this. And I'm like, but
Yeah.
so I'm like, I thought it was vegan. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, it's confusing. I'm like, hey, yo,
Thanks.
Vegan food is really good, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, I've had some great vegan food, man. Not gonna lie, they know how to fucking season that shit up and make it taste good. And shout out to vegans.
It's just hipsters are ruining veganism. Like, hipsters gotta, like, get rid of the e-smokes and the fucking veganism, and then, like, we can learn to co-live with each other.
But then you got the hipsters that, like, they're heavy on the meat, too.
Yeah,
It's
Pause.
just all the caveman died or whatever. Yeah, the pod shit.
Heavy on the meat.
Oh, shit.
Yo.
It's funny seeing the hipsters in the area, man, and how they conduct themselves and the little spots that they have created for themselves and bars they go to, and it's like
there's interesting little spots like, yo, we discovered this new neighborhood. We're gonna call it fucking Dale Park. You're like, what? No, it's Parkdale. What the fuck you talking about? Dale Park? No.
Yeah, people had an issue with the whole vegan Dale thing.
Yeah, they did. They were pissed.
But you know what?
Neighborhood.
Do you know what I just realized? Hipsters are the product of gentrification.
Yeah.
Hipsters are the fucking teenager children of gentrification.
But a lot of them come
They
down
come
there.
in and like, oh, never knew this street existed before. This is cool. They're like, yeah, well, we actually used to have block parties here every fucking Friday and Saturday, but now it's a fucking Starbucks and a fucking dog park.
One spot in
And a
particular.
fucking one of those bars where like snakes and lattes or some shit.
One spot in particular.
Shout out Snakes and Lattes.
Is
Such a
where
weird concept.
a friend actually died, and I remember talking to one or two hipsters. I'm like, yeah, someone got shot here. This used to happen over there.
Oh, you give them
and
a
you
tour
should
of
see
the-
their fucking faces. Like, what?
No.
It was like that? Like, I was like, that's how it was around here.
You don't know the legend of
Yeah.
Parkdale.
But it's like, it is what it is. They're lucky they don't have to deal with that shit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I remember reading an article where
Hipsters are like the inner city version of trust fund kids.
I remember, check this out. I remember reading an article where they're talking about how gentrified like Bed-Stuy is getting.
Yeah.
Like people were tagging, you know, like the kids who moved in, where they're tagging it, like, oh, we found this new bar in the Stuy. They're calling it the Stuy or whatever instead of like Bed-Stuy. Rediscovering the Stuy. And I'm like, oh man, like I wonder what Biggie's feeling. The same thing's happening apparently in certain parts of Harlem and
Harlem.
Every major city's going through it.
yeah, certain parts of Toronto. My part of the city alone, like I got a lot of Koreans and Japanese moving in my part of the city. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
To kind of see that. I just have a condo that opened like literally right across the fucking street from me though. Like my door's here, new fucking condo. So I don't know.
Oh, wow.
You know, I haven't seen like most of the people live there yet. People are still kind of petering in and what.
Yeah,
I'll see like what the fucking dynamic is once all the people are in there. It's been open for about a month or so. I see a lot of apartments are still empty.
A condo holds a lot of people, man. They take up a pack, and you could become fucking.
They're the new ghettos.
You could become
man.
Nino Brown of that condo.
They're the new ghettos, man. I heard
Turn
Liberty
into the
Village.
Carter.
Yeah, right.
Liberty Village, I heard on some shit.
There's a bunch of condos opening up on my strip of the Danforth, man. If you go over to Woodbine and Danforth, you got two popping up right by the gas station there.
You know what's great about a new condo?
What's that?
Brand new territory.
There you go.
You can't claim stories that existed in the sky.
That's right. Yeah.
This is an apartment. Fine, you got the first 4 floors, motherfucker. The rest of the other 20 are mine.
Well, I'm not really trying to push that, that work, but I'll let you know if I decide that I'm going to go enterprise.
I'll be the enforcer.
Okay.
I'll go in with the.
You be my leg breaker.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, what's up? I'll keep the peace on me.
It's going down.
I'll be like.
Trust me.
I'd be like, Hov, like, couldn't sit down. Big gun kept sticking my pelvis.
Oh my God. Nah, man. I couldn't do that, man. But it's interesting. There's a lot of condos popping up on my strip of Danforth. So we'll see how it changes the dynamic of, my part of East York.
It'll change.
Actually, believe it or not, I saw 1-2 signs where they call my part of, like, I live, like, East York, you know what I mean? If I walk a couple blocks over, it's the start of Scarborough. They actually tried to call my fucking block West Scarborough. I'm like, West Scarborough? I never heard of West Scarborough.
Well, stop that nonsense, bro.
Stop that. This is a fucking Danforth.
I don't like
the fucking Danny.
Trying to re-gentrify you, bro.
They're trying to call it the Danny. You ever seen the signs on the Danforth?
Oh,
the Danny?
jeez.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever told meet me on the fucking Danny. No, it's the Danforth, bro.
I feel like you have to say pause every time you're meeting up with somebody. Like, he'll meet me on the Danny. Pause.
Pause.
Yo, do we gotta say pause every time? Yeah, fam. Yes, we do.
Oh, Lord.
But nah,
Because fucking hipsters changed the name to the Danny.
Man.
On
On the side of College Street where I'm at, fucking, they called it College West.
Word.
There is no College East.
Right.
So how the fuck you call it College West? It's stupid. It's just bad.
right?
dumb, bro. It's like,
Where's the dividing line? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what street was the fucking, was it Bathurst? What's the dividing
Young
line here?
Street is the
Ossington?
dividing
Like,
line for east to west of the city.
exactly.
So it's safe to say that hipsters are destroying the city.
Yeah,
Well, they're bringing money into it.
Would college East be Carlton?
It doesn't exist.
Gerard? Like,
It's college ends right
yeah,
at
it turns
there.
into Carlton, right?
Yeah, it ends
And
right at
then
Young
Carlton
Street.
turns into Gerard.
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess Carlton is college East.
but it's not college, so it's
not.
never.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop the nonsense. But they made signs and everything.
No.
They invested in that shit.
Oh,
Shout
man.
out to the fucking 506 streetcar that has brought me home many.
I used to
Hyde
live
Park
on
to
the
Maine.
506.
Oh my
I
god,
love that
dude.
streetcar.
Yo, I love
that-
College Street. I used
Yeah.
to live College in Bathurst.
Yeah.
College Street's like one of the best streets.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that'll take me all the way to Maine and Danforth.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I'm home, you know. and just
It's a
get
nice,
there.
it's an interesting ride too.
Yeah, it is very
If
interesting.
you take it
especially-
from Hyde Park to Maine, it's an interesting
Oh,
ride.
wow, yeah.
Well,
Shout
once
out
it
to
once it
506.
turns to Carlton, it's an interesting ride.
Yeah,
Kind of. Carlton's so short though, like, all right,
Yeah.
Gerard.
yeah.
It's interesting. It's
But-
interesting for a few moments.
Yeah.
Well, I
From
mean, like,
Bathurst,
from that
Bathurst to
point,
like Parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets colorful.
Yeah. I don't know why we're talking about streetcar routes, but yeah,
This is
from
fucking
Bathurst.
Toronto Talks.
Toronto
Yeah.
Talks, baby. Shout out
Yo.
streetcars 506 from Bathurst to fucking Parliament. It's the most interesting streetcar ride in the city. Yeah.
Hey.
Maybe not. No, King Street streetcar to fucking like Friday or Saturday. Slow as hell.
You know
Yeah.
what the worst fucking like? What's your like most hated fucking bus
Bus
in
route?
the city? I think mine's the Eglinton bus.
Eglinton?
Is it because of the traffic?
It's all
Because
that
of the
traffic. There's
construction.
nothing to look at like out
Yeah,
there.
it's just
Like
building.
the fucking you know what I mean? Like just like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
Now it
long.
sucks
Yeah.
because you got all the construction and shit.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
I don't
Eglinton's
know,
a
I
long
hate that
strip.
bus. And it's a long strip, and it's like
You gotta jump on another bus to go the other
I used to
direction.
hate
Yeah.
doing the 100.
yeah, because you're never really
Yeah.
on the Eglinton bus just
Yeah.
to go somewhere else on Eglinton. Like
Yeah.
that's always just a part of your route of
Yeah.
somewhere else you're going.
Yeah, you're just going to the station or
Yeah,
something.
and you're like
Yeah.
you're laying on that fucking thing forever. The
Yeah.
fucking traffic sucks. It's packed full of people because
Yeah.
you know the further north and west and east you get, that shit. Well, more just north. It gets packed because there's no fucking subways
Yeah,
and
yeah.
streetcars.
Shout out
The
to our
buses.
inefficient fucking TTC. But no, I used to hate the 100 Winford. I used to ride
I don't
that
even know
every
if I
day
know
going to
that.
work.
That's the one that goes to Flemo?
Yeah, it goes to Flemo.
Yeah.
It
Word.
goes up to Winford Drive, then
Yeah.
comes back down to Broadview. So
Yeah, it's not even a long road.
it's decently
Yeah.
long because instead of like it curves around, right? Because
Yeah.
you're at Broadview and it eventually comes up, you know, like Don Mills or
Yeah.
whatever, and like so you got to go around all the way up over towards
Yeah.
like Cape and then up Don Mills and shit. So
Another bus ride I hate is the 168.
168.
Oh,
from,
yeah,
Symington
Symington.
Station. Yeah, Symington
Yeah.
takes you up the fucking Weston Road.
Yeah.
Rogers and all that.
That's
Yeah.
from.
That bus route sucks. It only comes like every fucking like 20 minutes or
Yeah.
so. Like
that's bunk. I hate
yeah,
that
and it's such a
shit.
long ride too. So like
Yeah.
if you don't catch it as soon as you get there, or if you're especially if you're on the stop coming to like catch it.
Yeah.
And that's only in the day. At night
Yeah.
it runs even less frequent.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
every like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And like it's such a long drive that they never show up on time because
Yeah.
it's such a fucking long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, yo,
It's
that's
a weird route.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
really fucking weird route, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really understood why it
Yeah.
goes from Ossington and like it just like
Actually, it's from Dundas West.
yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Dundas West. Yeah. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just like no, I don't know. That bus just doesn't make a whole lot
Yeah.
of sense to me.
No, there's a lot of routes that
I
definitely.
used to have to take it to
suck.
get to work. I ride that shit
Yeah.
every day. I'm like, this fucking route is fucked. up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go to Kiel and take the 42, but like Kiel Station. See, that's the next question I want to ask.
Mhm.
Did we all give a bus?
Was that? No, I didn't give one yet. I'm trying to think of ones. I'm not gonna say Dufferin because I like the Dufferin route. As much as
Bus ain't bad.
Yeah.
But no,
the
it's
thing is,
straightforward.
but sometimes too packed, and when Dufferin
Yeah.
gets a lot of traffic, it's fucked up. But they have express buses almost every route now,
yeah.
so it kind of makes it better. But yeah. I don't know. I would say any type of like the 168, those weird routes
Yeah.
that just don't make sense.
And it's like there's only two ways to get there.
Yeah. Like even on the
Because the
junction
Kiel
bus.
bus, I think, I don't know. There's a reason. Oh, I don't like the Kiel because they
Yeah.
have like the A, B, like there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
letters, so like
Yeah,
it's not
so you
always the
don't know
bus
which
you
one.
want.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like that one.
Yeah.
So like I get really late for work sometimes
Yeah.
in the short turns and shit. So that's why I
Yeah,
think the
I would say
168
the
more
junction,
reliable,
though.
but it's just a fucking shitty
Yeah.
route.
I hate the junction one because it doesn't go past Runnymede, and then the one that does go on Dundas is not freaking, but you got to pick it up from Hyde Park.
Ah.
Yeah.
And I've walked from fucking Kiel and Dundas to fucking Tompkin and Dundas.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it's like the fact that the buses don't connect is such a piss off.
Yeah.
It's like, this makes no fucking sense.
Yo, the worst is the TTC in storms. Like when you have a bad snowstorm. So we had a real bad snowstorm. This was like 5 years ago, the ice storm we had.
Yeah.
I DJ'd that night. I get out.
Oh, fuck.
And no cab will give me a fucking ride. So I'm like, fuck. So I gotta walk all the way up to college in Spadina from King and Spadina. So I make it up there. I'm just waiting. Streetcars aren't in service because the lines are frozen. So what are streetcars gonna do? Buses aren't fucking running, right? I'm like, fuck, what the fuck am I gonna do here? Finally, I had to like hop in a cab with like a couple, and I'm like, yo, I'll pay. Like, I don't know if the cabbie just doesn't want to give me a ride because I'm black, or I'm hopping in with you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are going my way anyways. I'll pay the cab. So got home, but there was another time too where I was coming home from work, and we got pounded with like a couple feet of snow. So I get to Broadview and Danforth, or I get to Broadview Station, and the subway is just moving so slow. Like I'm talking, like it takes 20 minutes to go in between stations. Like for me to get from Broadview to Pape, it took me like an hour, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, screw this. Let me get out and pretty much like walk, because as that's happening, it's getting more and more packed.
Yeah.
It's rush hour. The streets are bad, right?
That's like a nightmare.
And you know it's gonna go out of service, and like you got your winter coat on, so you're like, fuck, I'm gonna fucking pass out. So I get out. I'm like, okay, let me just go like try to catch a bus. No bus is going down to Danforth at all.
Oh man,
bro, I walked from like Pape and Danforth to like Main and Danforth, probably like a good 2 hours, and like Tim's snow past my knees. I'm like, this is fucking nuts.
Oh man.
But yeah, TTC kind of sucks in the snow for that shit.
It
and then the RT lines always freeze as well, right?
Well, that's actually what I was gonna add, because I've never like, I've been to Scarborough, you know what I mean, but I don't ride the RT enough to really know like the fucking like.
It's loud. It hurts your ears. You see some cool graffiti.
It does kind of hurt your ears.
Yeah.
But is it
like shit.
Like is it good, or is like, how is the transit out there? I hear a lot of people complain about it.
Scarborough Transit sucks.
It's a lot of buses, right? So it's just that RT.
It's just buses. We got RT. So when
the
you get
RT
to Kennedy,
doesn't seem to really like hit that close to like very many places.
No, it has like 5 stops. I think 5 or 6 stops.
It's like
it hits a few main ones, like maybe Lawrence or something like that. But nothing like majorly. There's no like hubs. None of the stations are real hubs except for Scarborough Town Center.
Scarborough Town Center, I love that station.
Scarborough Town Center, that's where you get like all the buses going.
Yeah, I've been there many times.
You gotta go this, that, the other, right? But the RT, it is what it is. It'll get you from Kennedy to fucking Scarborough Town Center really quick.
Yeah.
It does suck in the wintertime though, because a lot of times that shit freezes.
Yeah, because it's all above ground, right? Yeah, so it's like, fuck, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be brutal.
Yeah. But it happens, and it smells too. When you're going by McCown, you're like, what's that fucking smell? The recycling plant.
Shit.
Especially when it's wet, you're just like, oh man, it smells like AIDS.
Or a hot summer day.
Yeah. There used to be a really, really, really dope monolith.
Tag. Yeah.
There used to be a dope
it's still
monolith
there.
tag. No, I don't think it's there, man. With the dwarfs.
Okay, I'm confused. I'm getting confused with the east side.
The east side's still there. The mobility, whatever mobility paid someone to throw up an east side fucking tag or whatever, but the monolith wasn't there. But they do have new tags popping up all over the Lawrence West Strip, whatever, or Lawrence East Strip. Sorry, when you're going by in the RT.
And what's your most hated station in the city?
Shit.
Oh man,
mine's Islington.
Was that Islington?
Islington.
Islington's alright.
Yeah, because you gotta go all the way up into like the bus terminal and then go up to like the actual bus.
Yeah, and then I feel like
Morgan's kind of like that.
And like every bus there has like an A, B, C, D. And like the letter you actually need only shows up like once every half hour.
Yeah.
And it's fucking packed.
Kipling's
and it's a long
like
drive because half the routes take you like halfway into Mississauga.
Yeah.
It's just like that. Like
I hate
station,
all the small stations.
Everything about Islington. The only thing I like is getting the Jamaican patties.
Kipling's kind of like that. Any of the stations on the Shepherd line are kind of weird, like a Bessarian or something. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? The station's really nice and there's nobody here. Like
there are some stations like that.
Why do they even exist?
It's like the nice stations, and
Union, man. Union's a station sometimes that can be like hell. You get Union.
I love Union.
Yeah, no, you know what? I liked Union when there was order to it.
Yeah.
Ever since they've been doing this, like fucking, what is it, like 10 years now?
Yeah,
this fucking construction, like, it's like so overdue.
But Union has a lot of
But like
chicks.
when it's
damn.
But when it's gutted inside, like it's been, and then like every time you go there, there's a different route to get to where you need to be.
Right.
And like you're walking through fucking wood, like fucking walls and shit. It's like you feel like you're smuggling drugs from fucking Mexico into fucking Texas or something. You know what I mean? Like. You like fucking wooden tunnels and shit. Like it's just like it's fucked. It's just chaos. Like when there was order to it, it was alright.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know what I mean? A lot of people, but
Yeah.
there was order to it. When you have that much people and just a bunch of fucking confusion and fucking
Yeah.
mazes and shit, man, that shit pisses me off.
Hey, you know there
I get
are
mad when I'm at Union.
There
It's
are
like the Eaton Center.
a few subway stations that aren't on the map. I actually one day went to one, so they're doing some type of weird construction or whatever. And in between, like, you know how the university line, it's a U, the Young University line.
Yeah.
So I was at one station on one side, and they're like, these stations are out of control. We're gonna somehow, like, basically hop over from one side of the U over to the other one, and there was a station in between the fucking.
Say word.
Not even fucking line. We went to this little station. I'm like, yo, what station is this? I've never seen this fucking station in my life.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called. The lighting was all kind of weird and shit, but like, yeah, it was a secret station.
Yeah.
They only ever like really go to it once or twice. And there is the station that they do film at, that you can rent it out and whatnot. That's another secret station. But there are actually
They
a
got
couple
secret
fucking.
joints.
Yeah, there's a couple of secret.
Yeah.
subway
Well, I heard
stations.
there's an abandoned station somewhere. I read an article on it like a couple years back.
Yeah, they do filming there. They do.
Is
some
that the one they
filming
do
and whatnot.
filming at? But it's like like I don't know if it's actually an old station, but like that. Like,
Yeah.
That's the way it was like written to be. Is like
Yeah.
there used to be a subway station there, and it's still there. It's just not public anymore.
Yeah, that might have been the one. Again, there's the one that they use for like filming and whatnot, and I know they use like Bay Station for Suicide Squad and whatnot. But there's one that they use for filming and whatnot. But then there was this other one where it was like, dude, what the fuck? What station is this? Why, the train just went, instead of going around, just went doom doom around the other side. You're like, holy shit, what the fuck?
That's so.
But it
trippy.
stopped in the middle. It's like, dude. Like, oh, dude, what's the station? It's crazy.
Wow.
So that's really interesting, man. You could probably Google it, like on your laptop. There's secret Toronto subway stations and shit. They exist, man. I'm hungry, man. I need to get some fucking food.
Yeah, man, I ain't eat shit. I had a smoothie.
All the food talk.
I had a little bit of Popeyes and I had a protein shake.
Shout out to Popeyes.
I had a keg last night.
Shout out to Popeyes.
Keg is expensive,
Oh,
bro.
fuck yeah.
Like, I had a $50 gift certificate and
Keg
still wound up
crazy
throwing down,
overpriced.
like, close to $2 on that place
No,
on
man.
top of the
If you're gonna go to a
certificate,
steakhouse, it's a little more expensive, but it's like
Ruth
way
Chris?
better. Yeah.
Okay.
Ruth Chris the shit.
Okay.
Fuck
Well, I
yeah.
had a certificate and it was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really liked it. I threw down in New York and,
I mean, it's good, but it's just like I don't know. I think it's like, you know, what I mean?
that much better.
It's like the McDonald's of
I
steakhouses.
thought about going to Ruth
Which one
Chris
is
in
it?
Niagara
Yeah.
Falls last time I was in
It's like
Niagara
comparing
Falls.
like Five Guys to McDonald's. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's like the keg
Yeah.
would be like the McDonald's of like
That's
the steakhouse
crazy.
industry.
It's crazy to think, but I feel you.
I don't know. The name of a steakhouse you can go to that's even cheaper. Like you can't really like it's cheap for a steakhouse if you think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, compared to other steakhouses, like this shit's like pretty cheap.
I guess, yeah.
People who go to like fucking
No,
I don't
Ruth
know,
Chris is definitely, like, you throwing down money.
Yeah,
Ruth Chris.
people that go to like Swiss Chalet for like dinner, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Think the keg's expensive, but I
Yeah,
mean, like, if you
fuck
compare it to
you.
steakhouses and shit, like
I feel you.
I can't really think of a steakhouse that's cheaper than it.
You ever gone to like one of those Brazilian steakhouses or the Brazilian?
Oh fuck yeah!
Those are really
fucking,
cool, man. The
Copacabana.
Copacabanas. Yeah, you get like a meat coma from that place, man.
Yeah,
Like,
my girl put me on that place. That's literally what we say every time we leave.
you
Pause,
leave there just
meat
like,
coma.
yeah, you got a little bit of a headache. You got a little bit of like,
Yeah.
slow
No,
walk
yeah,
going,
yeah.
you're bloated.
The first time we
That
went there, we
pineapple.
went to I
Oh,
think
man.
Caravana first.
Yeah.
So I was just fucking lit, like I was wasted.
Okay, you're
And
down
then we
in
go to
Banna all day.
Copacabana,
yeah.
and
Yeah, with the banner and then banner.
yeah, Banna.
You're banned out, bro.
Yeah, Banna
Were you
out.
wearing a bandana?
I was.
Hey.
Yo,
This man's rocking a bandana.
Banna
Caravana
boy.
in Copacabana.
Banna boy here, you know what I'm saying? Yo, don't fuck with me.
What's up?
I need to get myself a banana board now. We gonna be fucking lit in this bitch.
Did you have that pineapple though?
Fucking banana and pajamas on, man. We just getting straight. Yo, call me
Man, it's
Ban
pajamas,
Margera,
rocking that bandana.
motherfucker. Yeah. But so we went there.
Yeah, you had a
And
pineapple?
I had everything.
Yeah. 'Cause the
Like
pineapple's
prime
the
rib,
green.
like yo,
Yeah,
I ate
prime rib
everything,
and
bro.
the
And
garlic
like
steaks.
before we even went up to get meat, because I'd never been to this place.
Oh, so you're just stuffing yourself
I
with
made
salad.
plates of salad and shit,
all
and
the-
like
all the
pasta and
pastrami.
shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how they fuck you up. Because you want you to
Yeah.
fill yourself up with that so that you're not going hard on the meat.
Yeah,
right?
man. Pause.
Yeah, pause. Exactly.
But but yeah, man. So I did that, and then once I seen all this fucking hot meat, pause,
Yeah.
coming out of the kitchen and
Oh, they're bringing on the skewer.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm like, yo. So like I start eating my face off. You know what I mean? And it's meat, so I guess I have to say pause.
Yeah.
But Yeah, man. I remember walking down the stairs. I remember it hurting to go piss before I left. Like I went to the bathroom and it literally hurt to piss.
Oh,
like
wow.
the stomach, like just squeeze.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then like we're walking downstairs, I literally walked like.
Okay.
We had to take a cab home. I couldn't take the TTC.
Yeah.
And we got home. I went upstairs, planted myself face first in the bed, and I think slept until the next morning.
Oh, wow.
And it was like 6 in the
You
evening.
just knocked out.
No,
man.
yeah, like it
Man,
literally
did it to you,
fucking
bro.
killed me.
I love that spot, man. It's come out and they got everything. Yeah,
That shit's
like
delicious.
chicken, pork, steak,
Everything.
fucking ostrich. I don't know.
Yo,
I've had ostrich.
I want to eat
ostrich.
a fucking ostrich.
You ever had ostrich egg?
Nah.
Imagine the size of an omelet you can make with an ostrich egg.
I don't really like egg like that though.
Okay.
Like not enough to be eating like a massive egg. Like
I feel you.
I like one egg scrambled to make like 2 sandwiches out of it. Like don't give me
Okay.
like no
Cool,
2 or
cool.
3. That's way
Yeah.
too much of
Cool,
that shit.
cool. What
Like,
time we got?
I can only eat so much embryo in a day.
Oh, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
ostrich egg. That's like a month worth of egg for me.
Oh fuck, they'll probably go bad in that
Oh
time.
man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do chickens fuck or what's going on?
Chickens? Yeah,
I think they
roosters,
fuck, right? Okay.
Roosters, yeah.
I was
Roosters
just trying
come
to
in-
double check, you know.
Roosters
I thought-
come in and send chickens, and chickens lay the eggs.
Yeah, but aren't they like the only species that use sex to procreate eggs? Because eggs is like an asexual thing. isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's why.
No,
more-
even
women have
insects.
eggs too, but
No,
the
but
eggs
like-
have to be germinated.
No,
right?
but I'm pretty sure like eggs that are laid
Yeah.
by most species, they're created like asexually, like they're not created through sex.
I don't know about all
Yeah,
that.
look it up. I'm pretty sure.
All right, Mike, you gotta look that up.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure that's like the difference between like, isn't that the difference between like mammal and like fucking or some shit?
Maybe you could be right. I don't know.
Like,
It's
the
been
way
a
they
long
produce
time since I've
sexually.
been in school and had to learn about the fucking 7 animal
I-
kingdoms or 4 animal kingdoms, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Vertebrate animals and non-vertebrate animals and all that
I'm surprised
stuff.
humans
That is
haven't
something I
created
would
like a
to know,
genetic
though,
egg.
Because I
yet,
have
like-
kind of wondered that. You know, what I mean, I have seen insects going at it,
Yeah.
and birds
Yo,
and stuff.
like isn't
so
that like with the way everything's going with GMOs and like ass implants and all this shit, like with everything fake that we can do and
GMOs to
everything
ass
we're doing out
implants.
of a petri dish,
Right,
basically
right.
to enhance life. I'm surprised that no one's came up with the $1 billion idea yet
Yeah.
to start doing human eggs.
like eggs that you can
Like
fertilize.
wifey just come home from work and sit on the egg, like she don't gotta go through labor. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
9 months later, wham,
Yeah, I don't
fucking
think it
baby
works
born.
like
You know
that.
what I
You
mean?
gotta feed that baby
Hey
somehow.
man,
How's it
if
getting
a
its
chicken can do that
nutrients?
shit, a human can do it. They just gotta genetically figure it out.
We're just gonna eat the
that's kinda
embryo.
weird. They sit on it and it doesn't.
And the egg is the weirdest thing if
Yeah,
you think
if you
about it,
think
man. The
about it.
concept of the egg, like,
This is fucking penguins.
Yeah,
it's
so,
fucking trippy, bro.
so they
Yeah,
sit
so
on
they
it
eat
to
like a
keep it
penguin.
warm. So how does it get anything? I guess all the nutrients is in
Well,
the.
'cause,
I
like,
guess it's eating like the inside
'cause,
of
like,
the egg, the embryo and whatnot.
a lot of
so it
eggs
cracks
are,
the
like-
shell, you know what I mean? Or it's developing, it's growing.
So is the yolk sperm? What
well,
is
a
the
lot
yolk?
of eggs, right?
yeah, the yolks of the cells splitting and developing before they start to form
So
and
what
become.
What comes
and be-
first? The actual shell?
Yeah,
Okay, and then
and it's the embryo inside. It's
Okay.
splitting, cell division,
So-
and then it's growing. So if you let an egg go, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but like Filipino people, they eat something called balut.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
that
just
is
nasty.
basically a
I'm sorry.
fertilized egg. So
I
that's
love-
basically the egg once it's turned into the chicken.
Oh, and it has
I
the
love
embryo
my
in it.
I love my
Yeah.
Filipino people, but I'm never gonna eat that shit.
Well, see, I always say like
Nah.
birds are like the
For dinosaurs.
well, no, they're like fish.
What do you mean?
Like they're,
How so?
well, I like a lot of
They have
creatures,
5-second
right?
memories?
No, things that come from the water, right? All kind of like turn into something, you know what I mean? Like, and then other things develop from those life forms and so on and so forth,
Like
right?
tadpoles?
But well, life starts in the water, and I think
Yeah,
that
so do
like
we.
the
We were
close,
tadpoles. We were sperm.
well, the closest remnants I think to like the water life is like still the birds and the well, yeah, birds, chickens are birds. I'm just high, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like they lay eggs and shit, and they're really like one of the only species above the water that do eggs. Like eggs kind of underwater.
Kind of. I mean,
For
but
the
if you
most
look at
part.
a woman's stomach when she's
Yeah.
pregnant, it looks a lot like an egg. So,
Yeah.
you know, they're kinda
Yeah,
walking
but it's
around
still
egg, too,
it's
you know?
birthed inside of you. Like most creatures,
But the
on
eggs
top
are-
of-
But the egg breaks and the baby comes
But
out.
don't women already have
Yeah,
eggs?
but
So
no,
they
'cause
don't-
I
they already
know.
have eggs.
Yeah,
in
look
their
it up,
eggs,
look
right?
it up. Eggs aren't produced sexually, bro.
No, I know what you mean.
Because like you fertilize the egg, you don't fuck the the species to create the egg. The woman lays the eggs.
She already has it.
And
Women
then
already have it.
you fertilize it. It's like in the
Are
water.
you talking about
know what I
chicken
mean?
eggs or are you talking about human eggs?
Well, I'm talking about creatures in the water, but all eggs. You know what I
They
mean?
still have to be fertilized though. Like the woman
Yeah,
might
they're
pop the eggs and then the
fertilized.
guy comes, like the male fish comes along and the sperm goes into the eggs and stuff.
Yeah, but there's no actual sex that happens.
Fish have sex?
Not like that though.
I don't. I know the chicken goes on top. But
Whales
the female
have sex
chicken-
because they're mammals. That's
You're
the
right,
difference
they
between
do.
mammals and the
They
fucking
do.
yeah.
What about the duck-billed platypus?
Sperm is transferred into the
Does
female
that-
reproductive tract.
Does the platypus produce?
So the sperm is
Platypus
coming out
is
as
a
motherfucker.
mammal, but it has a duck's bill. Sorry, what happened?
Yeah, this is but when the whatever.
As with most bird species, and hens don't have external genitalia. Instead, both partners procreate using external orifices called cloaca. When the cloaca are touched together, sperm is transferred into the female reproductive tract. Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, they have like some type of internal. So they do.
What animal was that though?
That was the rooster and chicken and birds for the most part.
Yeah.
As with most bird species.
So the birds have sex.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of
I
underwater
watch pigeons go at it nonstop.
But
Like,
a
"Oh,
lot of
dude."
underwater species, it's like an egg fertilizing. Like I don't think it's actual sex.
Yeah,
for the
they
most part.
kind of like inject.
Like
the
whales
eggs and-
have sex because they're mammals, and dolphins
Yeah.
have sex because they're mammals.
Yeah,
But most like like fish and stuff, like they produce asexually.
I guess. Yeah. There you go.
Pretty sure. I don't know. I'm remembering shit from like.
No, just,
You know what I mean? Like
Dude,
great.
This just turned into a science
Yeah.
episode.
do fish have sperm?
We gotta get a fucking. We
Well,
gotta
they
get a
do. It's
biologist.
just a different like transfer
here.
of it, right?
Okay,
So
so
it's like I don't know.
so they're not shooting
Eggs
up
and
in-
shit are just so trippy.
they're not shooting up the club.
Life in
Life
itself
is trippy.
Weird.
So we're basically eating fucking
But that's why I say like.
cum.
That's why I say birds are like.
If you really look
yeah,
at it,
kind of.
we're kind of eating cum.
Yeah,
Huh?
you're
We're
taking
eating
loads.
eggs,
Yeah,
bro.
you're taking chicken loads.
Oh
Rooster
yeah,
loads.
yeah. You're eating.
Rooster loads.
You're eating undeveloped chickens.
Yo,
man.
I'm opening a fucking egg
You're-
buffet
you're
place
literally
and calling it rooster.
when you
loads.
eat like chicken, eggs, whatever, when you're eating eggs, you're eating basically like undeveloped baby chickens. So just
So
Yeah.
everyone's eating
aborted
cum.
chickens. You're eating aborted chickens. You're not eating cum. You're eating aborted fucking chickens.
Have you
There's
ever,
cum
like,
in there.
I've
I
heard.
guess. I fucking guess. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of people like cracking an egg and there's like a half developed like little baby chicken in there?
Nah, I never heard about that shit. That's crazy.
I know that's what turned me off eggs for years. I was like, if I ever crack one, like I pretend that's not even like part of like the life cycle. Like an egg to me is like, I don't know, it's not a vegetable
Do you
either.
eat chicken?
It's just this weird thing.
Do you eat chicken?
Like I feel like I could eat an egg and still say I was vegetarian.
Do you eat chicken?
They wouldn't say that, but they
Yeah.
If
But-
you're
Oh
allergic
yeah,
to
vegetarian
eggs,
is not a sin.
vegetarian
Yeah,
actually I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
would. A vegan
Yeah, yeah,
would.
vegan would, yeah.
if you're allergic to eggs, can you eat chicken?
That's a great question.
Are people actually
Probably
allergic
can't
to
eat
chicken?
breaded chicken.
That like proposes another really fucked up question, but like I'm
Probably
not gonna
can't.
go there.
I've
Probably
never
Let's
eat
just say
breaded
it
chicken.
has to do with the fact that oral sex on your pet is legal. and if you can make the comparison to what I was
So,
about to ask, we'll just leave
This
it
is
there.
mad fucked up.
Okay.
So hold up a second. Hold up a second.
I'm hungry.
Hold
I'm
up a
gonna eat some
second.
chicken.
If oral sex is legal with your pet,
Right.
and your pet is a certain age, is that considered some form of molestation, pedophilia?
Whoa.
Nobody thinks about this shit.
And do you measure it in dog years though?
That was
I
a
don't
dog
think
years.
your
It's totally
dog has
different.
an
Yeah.
age of I don't think your pet has an age of consent.
But the dog is not even fucking consenting.
Exactly.
You never
so there's no
consent.
fucking
Yeah,
age
so
of
it's
consent
rape.
with a pet.
It's literally rape
I don't know.
or molestation of some sort.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
you're raping your pet. You're molesting.
So I don't
your
understand
pet.
why they're fucking allowing you to do
I'm
that.
gonna take this to a Dave Chappelle question. But is it okay if like let's say you work for like a rescue agency,
Right,
and
right.
you rescue pets every day, but
Right.
then you fuck one once in a while, like
That's
like
horrible.
you
That's-
rapes
that's-
but he saves,
No, that's wrong. That's so wrong. That's
you
so
rapes
wrong.
but he saves,
That's so wrong.
and he saves more than he rapes.
Oh my gosh. You're giving free will to your son. That's so horrible.
That's Dave Chappelle ideology right there. I just proposed it to a
Wow.
different sector of life.
Wow.
You should write a script about that.
That's
Wow.
what he saves. Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
Oh my god.
And he saves more than he rapes.
Wow. We're gonna have the activists on our ass.
Yo, motherfucker, we are activists. We're SJW activists.
Oh my god. I've been called that plenty of times. I really don't give a fuck though, to be completely honest with you. It don't affect me.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's not really like a demeaning term. People just made it demeaning.
Yeah. Because they want to
I
be
think
like
3LW is a more demeaning term.
what, like
3LW?
like the group, the fucking group back in the day.
What does it even mean?
Yeah.
3LW. What's
Little
that?
Women?
It just means Three Little Women?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
But
Did
were
R.
they,
Kelly manage them?
No.
but were they actually women or are they like girls? Teenagers? They're teenagers, right?
Yeah, they're teenagers. They all
I
had
don't
like
know.
Disney shows and shit.
They were older than me at
They were
the
from
time.
they were
so
the Cheetah
it's
Club
like-
girls from the Disney show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
there you
know why
go,
I know
Dustin,
that,
with
but-
his knowledge.
Oh, 'cause I worked at a fucking music store. That's why I know that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's 3LW and then Cheetah Club girls.
This guy said three legal women. That's what, is it called Three Legal Women or not?
Little.
Okay.
Legal!
Yo, big up to Shaggy, man.
Yo, they're giving you the
It might-
disclaimer
yeah,
before
yeah.
you even hit on them.
It might have
say
been
word.
legal, but I'm pretty sure it was little. But that was around the time when you had like B2K and fucking
And B2,
you know,
yo,
TLC
and
and-
who wrote a lot of B2K music.
Mr. Kelly.
yeah, apparently. And they also had that Chris Stokes issue. So fucking, I hope
Yo,
those guys
the-
get their shit straight.
Omarion just said that after the so-called tour, that he's gonna stop performing the R. Kelly songs.
I like how you wait
Yeah.
till after the
Yeah,
tour.
exactly. Why didn't you just not do it?
No, those guys definitely went through
Just
some
sing
shit.
your
Remember,
songs.
remember, there was a reason why they like fired Chris Stokes, and you know he was their manager and shit. You know what I mean? Or if you don't remember that, go look into all that. They went through a bunch of issues and whatnot. So there's shit that's definitely been going on. We know it. The problem is again, you know what I mean? Like we should have banished those motherfuckers back then and not given them a chance to reappear now. Like once that happens, get the fuck out of here. Don't come back. That's what I look
I'm
at it.
looking, now he's asking, what does B2K mean? We're finding the meaning of everything today.
Yeah, what does B2K mean? Back
Boys.
to keyboard.
Of the new millennium?
That makes sense.
Back
2K,
to
new
keyboard?
millennium. Yeah. Two members like 2K.
Oh man, that's so lame.
Whatever.
Yeah, boys of the new millennium.
And then what was
Sounds
Immature was his brother's group, right? So they were like the new version of Immature.
Man, fuck all that.
Immature
Yeah.
kept their name for a
Well,
while.
fuck all
They
that.
did keep
Even
their
when
name
you're a
for
grown
while.
ass man.
Yeah. Marcus Houston.
Well, I mean, we have 6 minutes left to talk about how big of an idiot Donald Trump is.
Eh.
The government,
man.
Your government's been.
Yeah.
Your government's been shut down for like
Yeah.
better
We were
than
just-
half of a month.
We were talking about
He's
this
taking a
earlier.
vacation, man.
Bro,
Christmas
these
vacation.
guys aren't even getting fucking paid. Like a lot of these people aren't getting paid.
The
Like
guys
the
at the
TSA
border
workers,
shit ain't even getting paid.
the
like,
air flight controls. I got a flight at the
people
end
are
of this
just
fucking
calling in
month,
sick
man.
from work and shit. There's like this huge like
I'm scared
epidemic of people
shitless.
calling in sick and shit for like work because they're not getting
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
They can't even afford gas to get to work, let alone
Like,
pay their
yeah.
rent and shit, right? So yo,
And
like,
Trump's mad because he can't get 5.7 billion for a wall.
yeah, fuck, man.
This is like tantrum central.
Man, the CIA is bringing the fucking drugs in anyways. What's the wall get out? Blackout competition? We're trying to monopolize, motherfucker. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh
man.
man,
What the hell you need a fucking wall for?
that's fucked up.
Crush competition? Like, shut the
Someone
fuck
just
up.
got booked. I don't know if they were Army or CIA, but they just got booked trying to bring in 90 pounds worth of fucking coke from Colombia.
I'm not surprised.
It was like $1 million worth of street value or some shit.
Word
But they just
up.
got- I think it was soldier, Army, but yeah.
Hey,
But
man,
yeah, man,
Ronald
as far
Reagan
as,
might
like-
be the biggest crack dealer of all time.
Oh fuck.
Who's that?
Ronald Reagan might be the biggest
Yeah,
crack
yeah.
dealer of all time.
Maybe not crack. We imported the cocaine that made the crack. But we don't need to talk about all of that. But yeah, shout out to the Orange Cheeto though, man. Like he's fucking shit up, bro. Like how can I feel bad for these people? Because not even just like the airport workers.
No,
the
like
air
when
flight
you
control,
told me
like,
earlier, like
You
the
didn't believe
degree
me?
of this, I'm like, wait, this is what I've been like
Yeah,
hearing, like
bro.
little faints. Like I know the government gets shut down every once in a while, like while they figure out
people aren't
budgets,
getting
but
paid.
I'm like, for this long?
For this
And I'm like, and this is the holdup?
Yes.
And then
like,
today,
they can't just
they're supposed to have their last meeting, I think it was today or yesterday.
Yeah.
And the conclusion was Trump says this may not be resolved anytime soon.
And he
until
barely
he
walked
gets his
out.
$5.7 billion.
He walked
for
out.
his wall.
He stormed out, man. He's fucking wild. He's on one, man. Like at this point, you could either like commend the man for just sticking to his fucking gun, or you just be like, dude, I hope someone sticks a fucking gun to you.
Well,
I don't know.
I think
you know,
everyone
I'm
thought
not
this was a
saying,
joke to
but
begin with, and now
Yeah.
your
It was a
government's
fucking
shut down
joke.
for like 3 weeks.
It's
Yeah.
all a fucking
Like,
joke.
that's crazy.
bro.
Like that's fucking crazy.
It's nuts, man. Like it's absolutely crazy to think that one person could just do that and it could just be that unreasonable to deal with and just really hold that many people's lives in jeopardy and in limbo. Like these people have bills to pay. They have, they gotta buy food. They have children. They have homes. They have rent. They have fucking cars. Like You know, so the longest
He's
it
literally
goes-
like Beavis. It's like Beavis is the president of the United States.
yeah.
Like
kind of.
George Bush Jr. was butthead.
Yeah.
Like he's a little smarter, but he's still a dumbass.
Yeah.
And then you get fucking Beavis in,
Oh,
and he's just
fuck.
basically cornholioing.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah,
if you
you're
see
dead right,
fucking Trump come out with his shirt halfway up his head.
Oh man.
Like he is like literally.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. These people, I don't. Who
Like,
knows
it's
what's
a
gonna
clown
happen?
show, bro. Like
The
if you
crazy
really
thing
think
is-
about it, it's literally like a clown
Yeah.
show. It's like
But here's the
WWE.
thing:
It's like
how long can you really keep your airports open if your employees who are supposed to do security? It's not all the employees. It's again the TSA agents, so the guys who do the security checks when you're getting on, and the air flight control. How long can you keep your airports open
Well-
before those people all walk off the job? For one, and two, if all those people walk off the jobs and you have to close down all of your airports in your country, bringing in domestic flights in and out, how much money are you going to lose as a fucking nation?
well, do you know what the fucked up thing is at the end of the day?
They would have to shut down.
It's the most contradictory plan of attack ever because
absolutely.
you're building a wall to keep people out of your fucking country.
Yeah.
But
You're
to build
sacrificing
that
your
wall, you're literally sacrificing the security that is
Yeah.
the only form of anything stopping things coming from in and out of your country.
Yeah.
Like forget the wall. The
Yeah.
only control you have right now, you're letting slip for you
Yeah.
in hopes to build
Yeah.
more control.
Because it's not like the people doing their job give a shit right now. They're probably there like, I don't give a shit.
No, fuck that.
Right
I mean,
now
if
would
I
be
was
the
getting
perfect
paid, I'd be
time.
like, yo, you got coke, cut me off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like-
not saying that anybody should do it,
Like,
but
we're
I'm
gonna
saying that
turn
this
the fuck-
seems like the perfect time that if you were gonna, bring drugs, smuggle that shit through
Yeah.
flights in America, this
Yeah.
might be the fucking time to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
not suggesting anybody do it. I'm just saying it seems
Well distracted, right?
appropriate.
Shut down the fucking
'Cause they
government.
don't- yeah.
Run
They're
the
not
R.
getting paid
Kelly
to-
scandal.
Right.
Let's fuck up everybody's
But you know
life.
what? That's how you know that none of these gangs or fucking like revolutionary groups or anything like that
Yeah.
are fucking tough. Because
Hey,
if there was
like
ever a
80%.
time when you're gonna try to take over the government,
Perfect.
it'd be when it's shut down.
When-
Like what other countries you know where the wealth is so unevenly distributed that can tell their people like our government shut down for 3 weeks and people
Yeah.
still ain't doing shit. They're
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah.
government shut down.
Well, yo, crazy thing.
We're
speaking of
still
gangs,
we're
though,
like
They probably get a decent salary.
Like-
That's why they're not freaking out.
no,
as
these
much.
people are freaking the fuck out.
They are?
Oh, dude.
I've really been paying attention.
Dude,
No, they're
these
not getting
TS
paid
they're not
anything.
getting-
Yeah.
These agents, most of these people, you gotta understand, even some of the people who work in Washington, they live check to check.
Oh, so
I think,
yeah.
I think like 80% of the people, whatever, North
half of
America
them
is like
sniff
check
coke.
to
That
check.
money's going up their nose.
No, but when you live in check to check and you haven't been paid, you've missed one. You're coming up
Escorts.
on your second or third paycheck being missed. This guy's suggesting that if you owe money to your landlord, you offer to do labor to your house or fix shit or whatever.
That's
So
what
the
he
landlord
said?
can
Fuck
knock
owing
off
money to
some
your
of the rent.
landlord.
That's what he said?
What if you owe money to a
Yeah.
pimp?
Or a bookie.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I told you I'd have it last Friday, but I haven't got paid yet.
Nah,
Motherfucker,
but yeah,
you go
it's
come
creating-
suck some
It's
dick.
going to create some serious financial situations. On top of that, the IRS can't issue any type of tax refunds
Yeah.
because they're not even fucking working right now.
Say
either.
word.
So
That's
it's a very, very interesting situation. Another interesting situation right now is apparently like the gangs and the president of Brazil. Like he's going hard, trying to go hard at the gangs right now, as well as trying to go hard at the natives. And shout out to the natives in the West Coast going against RCMP.
Yeah.
I special fuck you to those
Yo.
motherfuckers. But yeah,
We
like,
got to make a remix of the Humpty Hump,
yeah.
and instead of putting a big nose on my face, I'll put
Yeah.
on a Donald Trump mask and we'll do the Trumpty Trump.
We'll go at it. But yeah, man, shout out the people in Brazil, you know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Oh, that
man, they're
shit's-
about to
that's
go
just-
hard
yeah.
against the police. Shout out to the natives in Brazil because they're having their land encroached on. And shout out to the natives out west that are going through some shit right now too, man. It just seems like it's the strong man era, and we need to fucking rise up against these stupid ass strong fucking men, quote unquote. Because if we don't, we're all fucked. They value the economy over the environment until the environment becomes the economy.
Yeah.
And right now, we need to fix the environment more than we need to fix the fucking economy.
Right?
On that note, I'm hungry.
Yeah, we gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
man.
Gonna fucking put burgers on our fucking dicks, mate.
No
Where'd
pause?
that come from? Some weird
Is that
Australian
pause, though?
accent.
If you're pretending it's a pussy, is it a pause?
Okay, but you said putting. What did you say again?
I don't know, burgers on a dick's mate.
Yeah, I don't know,
Something
something
like
like that. Like, like, do you think Jason Biggs, when he put his dick in the pie, had to say pause after? Like, when his dad was like, pause. I meant this in a straight way.
that apple pie would have burnt his balls.
Yeah.
That would have burnt like hell. That
must have cooled off.
You probably,
Yeah,
would have got a
cooled
urinary
off.
tract infection.
I just don't know how you put your dick in a pie. Like, your shit real little.
I guess. You know, it was probably sliding inwards.
I don't know. For me, that's just the tip. Like,
yeah,
you just get the tip.
But my thing
The
is,
pie's
like,
getting the tip, unless it's like a deep dish, like.
you probably would have got a UTI from that shit.
I got a deep dish pussy.
Oh my god.
Like I like a fucking pizza.
Who even thought, like, what writer was like, yeah, let's, you know,
What,
I
is
don't
it
know,
like a
man.
myth
I
or
know how we
something?
talked
like,
about,
that's
like,
the name of the movie.
well,
American Pie.
I think, like,
Was it because of his father? His father's like, yeah, it's a lot like.
well, no, I
apple
think
pie.
because American Pie is kind of like a, you know what I mean, like,
Staple.
yeah, like, well, it's like a fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, fucking,
Traditional apple pie.
I don't know what the fuck I'm looking, like, you know, they got the song and stuff. It's like one of those, like, American Pie is kind of like of a patriotic, like,
Yeah.
thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
So
put
I
your
think it's
fucking
like,
pie out
and the
on
movie's just
windowsill
so
and it
degenerate.
cools off.
Yeah, and just like I just think in like the song,
Pie and ice cream.
I'm Miss America, like,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? I think it's just like such a degenerate movie that it's like, you know what I mean? That's kind of just like you're sticking your dick in the fucking like fabric of like
Yeah.
society, kind of like.
Oh,
you
so
know?
the American Pie was a metaphor. Sorry, the apple pie was a metaphor for society.
Kinda.
Jason Biggs was fucking society in that movie.
No, but the whole movie's so degenerate, right? It's like
I know.
kind of like the ultimate rebellion. Like it's like if you stuck your dick in a thing of cottage cheese, like it's not as funny as like
I
the
think it was a
American Pie.
snapshot into suburban life in the fucking late '90s, and you know, just the debauchery of
Yeah,
young
but it's
men.
completely over exaggerated.
Kind of.
No, like ridiculously. Like I just binge watched all three of them like
Yeah.
2 days ago. Like this shit is like beyond like fucking. Like man, the wedding one, Jason Biggs like he's carried the like naked fucking teenage girl like to like her parents' house and
Yeah.
like you know he's like super exaggerated.
No, but those are just
But it's like
things that they
such
stole
degenerate
from.
shit.
They just stole that from like National Lampoons and shit.
Yeah, I
you know
guess
what
so. I guess so.
They're
But
just rehashing old comedy
but
gags.
to me, I know we were talking about it being offensive. Fuck that. I think American Pie trilogy is one of the best like trilogy movies of all time.
There's some funny shit in it, but like
That
I
shit
said,
is hilarious.
there's a couple things that where society has reached now.
I
It's
don't
like,
give a
oh, you can't,
fuck.
you know, like that just stands out as
So
something.
how
that
do we
you
feel?
know,
Man,
How
society
do,
can shut the fuck up.
So how do we feel about the Benny Hill show?
I think it's
The whole idea of American Pie is that's what I'm saying is degenerate. It's to go
Yeah,
against the fabric.
yeah.
You're sticking your dick in the morality
No,
of
I
your
get
country.
it. I get it.
You know what I mean? Like,
I
the
get
fuck
it.
out of here with all that shit.
Yeah, but what about Benny Hill? I love Benny Hill.
Benny Hill's classic comedy.
But isn't there offensive shit in Benny Hill?
Of course there is. And that's why I came on late night. It wasn't on middle of the day for kids to see.
You know,
I was watching with my sisters when I was.
Do you know what the
a kid.
problem with it is?
No, I was like,
Do you know what the problem with it is though? If
Yeah, I
everyone
remember
has
when
a
I
free
came on when I was
opinion,
younger.
Yeah.
if everyone has a free opinion to be overly sensitive, well then you can find offense in everything.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
one does it get to the point where everything's just you can't
Yeah.
do anything, you can't say nothing,
I was
you can't
literally
even
watching.
entertain.
I was like 8 years old watching that show.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing with comedy though is like, yes, some comedy offends you, but it's supposed to offend you to educate
Well,
you.
that's
You
what
understand
good
what I'm saying?
comedy
So,
is. It's
yeah.
offensive to somewhat. You know what I
and
mean?
then you move on and you find the new things to
I
critique.
think the difference
and
is like
keep it moving
there's two
forward.
things you can offend. You can
Yeah.
offend yourself, which you're not really offending, but it's like the self-deprivation shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People either talk funny about themselves or they talk funny about others. But there's humility in all of it,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. Like every comedy can't just be like comedian be like my day is like this because I'm an idiot. Blah blah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people can
Yeah,
take
so
that
there's
route.
self-deprecating
But,
and
like,
there's social
yeah.
and there's social commentating
But, like,
comedy, you know. And
You
there's-
get they give it to themselves, they
themselves.
give it to society. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
comedians, like you can't get to the point where they're just walking around here only talking about themselves. You know how whack that's gonna be.
I just
No.
find that people.
But like people are getting sensitive
are-
about comedians
yeah,
now
they're
and their
picking and
jokes
choosing
and like.
what to be offended about, and I get it because everyone has a different perspective.
because some
But you
comedians
can't
though,
please everybody.
No,
Yeah.
you can't please everybody, but some comedians are just trying to go the lazy route. Some comedians have always relied on the lazy route, and back in the day, a lot of the lazy route was like racial stereotypical jokes and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And it might not have been the lazy route particularly at that time, but you know, it got played out. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't say a lot of the things that Andrew Dice Clay was saying back in the
Oh,
day
yeah.
in today's world. It's just because society has changed, and he could say it back at a time because you know.
That's how society was. It's more
But
accepting
society
of that.
changed because again he said some of those things, as did some other comedians. You know what I'm saying? So we grow. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You just find a thing to critique at this particular time. But there are some comedians who rely on very lazy things, and they'll try to go back and get cheap pops off of like old tropes. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's just lazy. That's just them being fucking lazy. you know, as opposed to, okay, let me find a way to, you know, take this
I
and
mean,
flip
it's the
it
same
and
thing.
whatnot.
All entertainment's the same,
Yeah.
really. You take things of the past and make them your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take things of the past and make them your own. But with comedy, there's a lot of truth said in jest, you know, but a lot of it is how you say it, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, too, you know what I mean? It's like the N-word, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of it isn't
like
the
a
fact that
catcall.
it's said. It's, again, it's how you say it.
It's like,
A thin
hey,
line.
sexy, or
Right.
Yeah.
hey, sexy.
Right. There's a thin line between offensive and hilarious, you know, between complimentary and harassment. It all depends on the person, how they say it, how they can get it across, communication, body
Yo,
language.
I want to
all
start
types of shit.
harassing people with compliments.
Oh, fucking
Since
compliment
we're
talk.
so PC now,
Compliment
you know what I mean?
talk.
Like, just go around and
You're
like,
so smart.
yeah, sarcastically compliment people all the time, every day. Like, you get an altercation on the street, some guy's a dick, you're
That
like,
happens.
you are such an angel!
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
Just
was,
like, I think you annoy people more. It's like when someone's mad at you and you laugh and then they punch you in the face, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what you laughing at?
Nah, there was that movie, man. What was the name of the movie? I just saw it with the guy who plays.
Start dissing people with compliments.
that Boots Riley wrote the movie, man. The guy was playing he's playing like I guess a call center worker or whatever.
Yeah.
And anyways, in that movie, he gets into a fight with his boy, but they just have like a compliment off in the middle of the street. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So instead of like being like, I hate you after you this and that, it's like, yeah, man, your shoes look real nice on you right now. And yeah, the way your head is tilted, man, it's got the sun glaring off your face at a particular angle. I can see the sweat beating down. Yeah, but I like the thread count on that T-shirt. And
Yo.
it's particular, you know, just the way they're going off, like they're
Talking
angry,
about the
but
sun's natural
it was
light angle on
whatever,
your
you know what I'm
face
saying?
is
It was just-
crazy.
But
It was a
that might be
compliment
end up
talk,
being
you know,
that's funny.
offensive. Someone's gonna find something offensive about something.
No, it's just the way
That's-
they were saying
yeah.
it. It was like I'm gonna diss you, but I'm gonna talk about what you're wearing in a very aggressive way. But the
Yeah.
things I'm saying are very nice, but it's
Complimentary.
very
But you say it
aggressive.
aggressively, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of funny, man.
And
I
on
can't
that
remember the name
note,
of that movie.
I feel like we should
Get the hell out of here
yeah,
to get some
man.
succulent ass food. I
Woo!
don't fucking know.
I
I'm
thought you
hungry.
were
I
gonna
gotta
stop
eat.
at suckling ass,
No.
and then
We just end with a pause.
that's like no, I'm not in like that way, bro. I'm like that's something R.
Succulent
Kelly would say, you
ass.
know, in a
Oh.
song. Like, you'd sing that in a song or something.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, it reminds me of my fucking Jeep. Let's get the fuck out
That
of
was a
here.
right song, but whatever, man. Peace.
We'll see y'all. It was fun. It was a blast. It was time to get some food. Yeah.
Alright, hold on. Let's hold this conversation and really get it popping.
Let's save it.
What happened to this? Did it stop? Like, why did it stop?
The other one didn't save though, which kind of sucks. Maybe I can get it from this grabber shit.
Yeah.
Where's my grabber?
I wish I was harassed as much as when they were